I'd been cold before. 5 years of sleeping in a cramped apartment above the clinic had taught me about cold. But this was different. This cold sank into my bones, wrapped around my lungs, squeezed until every breath felt like swallowing glass. State your name. The enforcer's voice cut through the massive throne room like a blade. I lifted my chin. Kept my voice steady. Mara Bennett. Registered nurse. Neutral territory. Liar. The word echoed off black marble walls. I'd never seen so much darkness in one place: obsidian floors, onyx pillars, shadows pooling in corners like they had weight. The only light came from silver torches that made everyone look like ghosts. Except him. Alpha King Darius Blackthorn sat on a throne carved from a single piece of midnight stone, and somehow the shadows bent away from him instead of toward him. He was younger than I'd expected, maybe 30, with silver eyes that reminded me of knife edges. Dark hair fell across his forehead, and when he moved, even that small shift made everyone in the room tense. "I'm not lying," I said. "I was gathering herbs near the border. That's all." "At midnight?" Another enforcer stepped forward. "During a rogue attack?" "I didn't know about the attack. I work night shifts. I go out when I can." Convenient. My heart hammered. I'd been so careful for 5 years. No pack affiliations. No trouble. Just work, sleep, survive. But 3 nights ago, rogues had torn through the Ashford Pack's eastern border, and I'd been 2 miles away with a basket of moonflower and valerian root. Wrong place. Wrong time. Wrong everything. "Search her again," the first enforcer barked. Hands patted me down roughly. I'd already been searched 4 times. They'd found nothing because there was nothing to find. Just a scared woman who wanted to go home. Enough. The Alpha King's voice was quiet, but it sliced through the noise like thunder. Everyone went still. "Bring her closer." The chains rattled as they dragged me forward. My legs shook. 5 years of hiding, and it was going to end here, in this terrible beautiful room, because I'd wanted fresh herbs for Mrs. Chen's insomnia tea. Darius leaned forward. His eyes locked on mine, and I felt it like a hand around my throat, the sheer weight of his dominance, his power. Most wolves would have dropped to their knees. I stayed standing. Barely. "You smell wrong," he said. My stomach dropped. "I don't. Not rogue. Not pack. Not quite human." His head tilted. "What are you, Mara Bennett?" "I'm broken." The lie came automatically. I'd told it so many times it almost felt true. My wolf died 5 years ago. Trauma. It happens sometimes. "Show me." "I can't. There's nothing to." "Show me, or you die at dawn." He said it like he was ordering breakfast. "Shift. Prove you're not hiding something. Prove you're not working with the rogues who killed 17 of my people." The room spun. I heard whispers rippling through the crowd, hundreds of wolves packed into this throne room, all waiting to see the broken nurse either shift or break. "I can't," I whispered. "Then you're a spy." "I'm not." "Shift." His voice cracked like a whip. Power rolled off him in waves, pressing down on every wolf in the room. Forcing submission. Forcing obedience. Forcing the change. I felt my wolf stir. After 5 years of silence, she woke like a match struck in darkness. "No," I begged silently. "Please. Not here. Not now." But Darius's command was absolute. An Alpha King didn't ask. He demanded, and wolves obeyed. My bones began to break. I gasped, falling to my knees. The chains burned hotter as my body tried to shift around them. Pain exploded up my spine, and I heard someone shout to remove the silver, but it was too late. My wolf was coming whether the chains allowed it or not. The metal shattered. Light poured from my skin. Not the usual soft glow of a shift, but something else. Something that made people cry out and stumble backward. Golden light, bright as sunrise, filling every corner of that dark throne room. I tried to stop it. Tried to pull her back. But she'd been caged too long. My wolf burst free. The silence afterward was worse than the noise. I stood on 4 legs in the center of the throne room, and I knew what they were seeing. Fur like spun gold. Eyes that glowed amber. A wolf slightly larger than normal, with markings along her shoulders that looked almost like constellations. A golden wolf. The kind that hadn't been seen in 1,000 years. The kind that legends said would only belong to a true Luna queen. Impossible, Darius breathed. He was standing now, and for the first time since I'd entered this room, he looked shaken. That's impossible. The whispers started. Grew. Became a roar. A golden wolf. Hasn't been one since. The prophecy. I shifted back fast, grabbing for the tattered remains of my clothes. My hands shook so hard I could barely hold the fabric. 5 years. 5 years of hiding, and I'd just exposed myself in front of hundreds of witnesses. Your Majesty. A new voice cut through the chaos. Smooth. Familiar. Wrong. If I may? No. Oh God, no. I looked up, and my worst nightmare stepped forward from the crowd. Cain Ashford. Beta of the Silver Moon Pack. Dark hair, green eyes, the same sharp jaw I used to trace with my fingers when we were alone. He was dressed in formal pack regalia now, deep blue and silver, looking every inch the powerful Beta he'd become. Looking nothing like the boy who'd whispered, forever, against my neck 5 years ago. You know this woman? Darius asked. Cain's eyes met mine. I saw the exact moment recognition hit him. The exact moment he realized what he was looking at. What he'd rejected. His face went white. Yes. I know her. Explain. Cain's voice cracked. He cleared his throat, tried again. She was Silver Moon Pack once. 5 years ago. She was he stopped. Swallowed hard. We were engaged. The throne room erupted. I wanted to disappear. To shift back into my wolf and run until my legs gave out. But I was frozen, watching Cain stare at me like I'd risen from the dead. What happened? Darius's voice cut through the noise again. Cain didn't answer. Couldn't, maybe. So I did. He rejected me, I said. My voice sounded hollow. Broke our bond. Found a better match. I looked at Cain. Congratulations on your wedding, by the way. I heard it was lovely. Cain flinched like I'd hit him. You rejected a golden wolf? Darius moved down the steps of his throne slowly, deliberately. You rejected a potential Luna queen? I didn't know, Cain started. You didn't know because you didn't look. Darius stopped in front of me. The signs were there. Golden wolves always show tells before they emerge. You just didn't care enough to see them. He was right. I'd been showing signs since I was 16. Faster healing. Stronger senses. Dreams of running under a golden moon. But Cain had been too busy climbing pack ranks to notice. Darius turned to face the room. The trial is over. Mara Bennett is no spy. He paused. But she can't return to neutral territory. Not now. A golden wolf belongs to no one territory, she belongs to all wolves. My blood went cold. What does that mean? He looked at me with those terrible silver eyes. It means you stay here. Under my protection. Until we figure out what to do with you. I don't need protection. I just need to go home. Home. Cain stepped forward. Mara, you can't just, we need to talk. Stay back, Beta Ashford. Darius's voice was pure ice. You lost your right to speak to her the night you broke your bond. Cain stopped. For the first time in 5 years, I saw him truly hurt. Good, some broken part of me thought. But mostly I just felt tired. Take her to the East Wing, Darius commanded. Post guards. No one enters without my permission. He looked at me one more time. We'll talk tomorrow, Miss Bennet. About what you are. And what that means for everyone. They led me away in different chains, gold this time, not silver. Gentler. But chains all the same. As we left the throne room, I heard Cain call my name. I didn't look back. Chapter 2. The East Wing was too beautiful to be a prison. Marble floors veined with gold. Windows that stretched from floor to ceiling, overlooking gardens I couldn't name. Furniture that probably cost more than I'd earned in 5 years. A bed so large I could have fit 4 people in it, piled with pillows in shades of cream and silver. I hated it immediately. The king requests you remain in your chambers tonight, the guard said. Young guy, maybe 25, trying hard not to stare at me. Food will be brought. Anything you need, just ask. I need to leave. His face went carefully blank. Anything else, ma'am? Ma'am. Like I was somebody important instead of a nurse who'd been dragged here in chains 12 hours ago. No. Thank you. He left. I heard the lock click. So much for asking. I walked to the window, pressed my forehead against the cool glass. The palace grounds spread out below, acres of manicured lawns, stone paths winding between fountains, guards patrolling in pairs. Beyond that, the forest rose dark and thick. Somewhere past those trees was the neutral zone. My apartment. My clinic. Mrs. Chen, who'd be wondering where her tea was. My life. You can't go back to that, I whispered to my reflection. My wolf stirred in agreement. She'd been restless since the shift, prowling beneath my skin like she wanted out again. 5 years of silence, and now she wouldn't shut up. We're safe here, she seemed to say. We're trapped here. Same thing sometimes. I turned away from the window. Found myself staring at that enormous bed, and suddenly I was 16 again, curled up in Cain's twin bed in his childhood room, his arm around my waist. When we mate, he'd whispered against my hair, I'm getting us the biggest bed in the pack house. You'll never have to worry about falling off again. I'd laughed. Kissed him. Believed him. Stupid girl. The memory shifted without permission. 5 years ago. The night everything ended. I'd been running patrol on the southern border, routine stuff for an unmated she-wolf training to be beta female. The forest had been quiet. Too quiet, I'd realized later. No birds. No crickets. Just my footsteps and my breathing and the feeling of being watched. They'd come out of the shadows like ghosts. 4 of them. Pack elders, wearing ceremonial robes I'd only seen in history books. Elder Frost in front, his white beard stained with something dark. Mara Bennet, he'd said, and my wolf had screamed at me to run. We've been watching you. Waiting. Waiting for what? For your wolf to show her true nature. He'd smiled. It was the worst smile I'd ever seen. Golden wolves are gifts from the moon goddess herself. Sacrificing one can grant a pack unimaginable power. I'd run. They'd caught me anyway. The ritual circle had already been drawn, salt and silver and blood forming symbols I didn't recognize. They'd chained me down, started chanting in a language that made my ears bleed. I'd felt my wolf trying to emerge, trying to fight, and I'd shoved her down deep, wrapped her in mental chains stronger than the ones on my wrists. Hide, I'd begged her. Please. Just hide. She'd listened. Disappeared so completely that even I couldn't feel her anymore. The elders had been furious. Kept chanting, kept trying, until Elder Frost finally screamed at them to stop. "She's broken her own wolf," he'd snarled. "Useless now." They'd left me there, bleeding and shaking and alone. I'd stumbled back to Pack Lands at dawn. Found Kane in the training yard, told him everything through sobs and panic. Waited for him to hold me, protect me, love me. Instead, he'd gone pale. "Your wolf is gone." I think so. I can't feel her." "Kane, they tried to kill me." "A broken wolf can't be beta female." His voice had been flat, distant. "The pack won't accept it." "Kane." "I'm sorry, Mara." He'd taken a step back, away from me. "I have responsibilities. A duty to Silver Moon. I can't mate someone who can't fulfill the role." I'd felt the bond stretch, strain. "You're rejecting me?" "I, Kane Ashford, reject you, Mara Bennett, as my fated mate." The bond had snapped like a bone breaking. I'd run again. This time, I hadn't stopped. A knock on the door jerked me back to the present. "Come in," I called, expecting the guard with food. Alpha King Darius Blackthorn walked in instead. I straightened automatically, my wolf perking up with interest. He'd changed from his formal throne room clothes into simple black pants and a dark shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows. Somehow that made him more intimidating, not less. Like he didn't need the crown to remind everyone what he was. "Miss Bennett." "Your Majesty." I wasn't sure if I should bow. Curtsy. I'd never met a king before today. He saved me the trouble by gesturing to the chairs near the fireplace. "Sit. Please." It wasn't really a request, but at least he'd said please. I sat. He took the chair across from me, and for a moment we just studied each other. His silver eyes caught the firelight, making them almost glow. There were scars on his forearms. Claw marks, mostly healed but still visible. "You've been crying," he said. I touched my face automatically. "I'm fine." That wasn't a question. He leaned back. "I need to know your story, Mara. All of it. Why you hid your wolf. Who attacked you. Why you're in neutral territory instead of with your birth pack. With respect, Your Majesty, that's not your business. It became my business the moment you shifted in my throne room." His voice stayed level, but I heard steel underneath. "A golden wolf hasn't been seen in 1,000 years. The last one united the packs and ended the Great War. You existing changes everything. I don't want to change anything. I just want to go home." "Home to what? A one-bedroom apartment and a clinic job?" He tilted his head. "You're living half a life, Mara. Hiding. Running. That's not surviving, that's dying slowly." The words hit harder than they should have. "You don't know anything about me," I said quietly. "Then tell me." So I did. I told him about the elders. The ritual. Kane's rejection. 5 years of running, changing my name twice, finally settling in neutral territory where nobody asked questions about lone wolves. Working night shifts so I wouldn't have to see families. Using medication to suppress my scent during full moons. Existing instead of living, just like he'd said. Darius listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "The elders are dead," he said finally. "All 4 of them. Killed 2 years ago in what looked like a rogue attack." My breath caught. "What?" "I had my people investigate after your shift. Elder Frost, Elder Kane, Elder Morningstar, Elder Wade, all dead within a week of each other." He watched me carefully. "Someone wanted them silenced." "Who?" "I don't know yet. But whoever it is knew about you. About what they tried to do." He leaned forward. "You're in danger, Mara. Real danger. The kind that doesn't stop just because you hide." My hands clenched in my lap. So what do you want from me? Honestly? Something flickered in his eyes. Pain, maybe. I don't know yet. The admission surprised me. 3 years ago, he continued, my mate died. Lyanna. She was pregnant with our first child. His jaw tightened. Officially, it was a rogue attack during a diplomatic mission. Unofficially, I've never believed that. The timing was too convenient. The evidence too clean. I'm sorry, I whispered. Don't be. You didn't know her. He stood, walked to the fireplace, stared into the flames. After she died, I swore I'd never take another mate. The pain of losing her, he stopped. Shook his head. I wouldn't survive it again. Then why are you telling me this? He turned to face me. Because there are laws older than either of us, Mara. Ancient laws written when golden wolves walked among us regularly. One of them states that a golden wolf must mate with the strongest alpha to preserve the bloodline. To strengthen the packs. To prevent the kind of wars that nearly destroyed us all. My stomach dropped. No. Rival packs already know you exist. The news spread before you left the throne room. Within a week, every alpha in the region will be here, demanding the right to court you. To mate you. His expression hardened. Some will be honorable. Most won't. They'll see you as a prize. A weapon. A way to increase their own power. I won't mate anyone, I said flatly. I'd rather die. That's the other option they'll consider. The words hung in the air like smoke. What are you saying? I'm saying that if you can't be controlled, some alphas will decide you're too dangerous to live. He moved closer, and I had to tilt my head back to keep eye contact. Your wolf makes you valuable. It also makes you a target. So what's your solution? I stood, anger flooding through me. Lock me up forever? Mate me off to the highest bidder? Kill me yourself and save everyone the trouble? No. He was close enough now that I could smell him, pine and smoke and something wilder underneath. I'm offering you a choice. What choice? Become my contract Luna for 1 year. I stared at him. You're insane. Probably. A ghost of a smile crossed his face. But hear me out. We announce a formal arrangement, you as my Luna, me as your alpha. It satisfies the ancient laws. Stops the other packs from making claims. Gives me time to find out who wants you dead and why. And after a year? You're free. I'll provide protection, a new identity if you want it, enough money to start over anywhere. He paused. Or you stay. Your choice. A loveless political arrangement. My voice came out bitter. How romantic. I'm not offering romance, Mara. I'm offering survival. His eyes locked on mine. I won't touch you. Won't force anything. We'll have separate chambers, separate lives. In public, we'll play the role. In private, you're free to do as you wish. And you get what out of this? Stability. The rival packs had been pushing boundaries since Lyanna died. Testing my strength. Questioning my right to rule alone. His expression darkened. A Luna, especially a golden wolf, sends a message. I'm not weak. I'm not vulnerable. And anyone who thinks otherwise will face consequences. I wanted to say no. Every instinct screamed at me to refuse, to run, to do anything except trap myself in another bond with another alpha who saw me as a tool instead of a person. But he was right about one thing. I was a target now. The moment I'd shifted, I'd painted a mark on my back that would never wash off. I need time to think, I said. You have until morning. That's not enough. It's all I can give you. The first alphas will arrive by midday tomorrow. I need an answer before then. He moved toward the door, then stopped. Looked back. For what it's worth, I understand why you're hesitant. Cain Ashford destroyed your trust in mates. In bonds. In alphas who promise protection. You don't know anything about what Cain did to me. I know he's been standing outside this wing for the last hour, begging my guards to let him see you. Darius's smile was sharp. I know he realized what he lost the moment you shifted. And I know he'll try to win you back, convinced he deserves a second chance. My throat tightened. He doesn't. No, Darius agreed. He doesn't. He opened the door. Think about my offer, Mara. But think quickly. Your time is running out. He left, and the lock clicked again. I stood there for a long moment, then walked back to the window. Stared out at the darkening gardens and tried to imagine a year as the Alpha King's contract Luna. A year of pretending. Playing a role. Living a lie. Better than being dead, my wolf pointed out. Barely, I muttered. But I knew I'd say yes. What other choice did I have? I should have known better than to relax. The attack came at midnight. I'd been lying in that ridiculous bed, staring at the ceiling, when I heard it. The softest scrape of metal on stone. Wrong. Everything about it was wrong. My wolf surged forward. I rolled off the bed just as the window exploded inward. 3 of them. Dressed in black, faces covered, moving with predator grace. Assassins. Professional ones, from the way they spread out to flank me. Don't shift, the first one said. Male voice, cold and flat. We'll make it quick if you cooperate. Who sent you? Does it matter? He lunged. I wasn't beta female trained for nothing. I ducked under his knife, drove my elbow into his ribs, heard bones crack. But the second one was already there, faster than he should have been, his blade scoring across my shoulder. I gasped. Stumbled back. My wolf snarled, demanding I let her out, but in this enclosed space against 3 trained killers. The door exploded off its hinges. Darius moved like violence given form. He caught the second assassin by the throat, slammed him into the wall hard enough to crack marble. The third one tried to run. Darius grabbed him, twisted, and I heard the snap of a neck breaking. The first assassin, the one I'd hit, scrambled toward the window. Darius was faster. He caught the man mid-leap, dragged him back, threw him to the floor. There was something terrible in his face now. Something that made my breath catch. Who sent you? His voice was barely human. The assassin laughed. You think I'd tell you? You think? Darius's claws extended. He drove them through the man's chest, quick and brutal and final. Silence fell like snow. I stood there, bleeding and shaking, staring at 3 bodies cooling on my bedroom floor. Darius straightened slowly, blood dripping from his hands, his eyes still that eerie silver gold that meant his wolf was close to the surface. Are you hurt? He asked. His voice was calmer now, but I could hear the edge underneath. Just a scratch. He crossed to me in 2 strides, tilted my chin up to examine my shoulder. His touch was surprisingly gentle, at odds with the violence I'd just witnessed. It's already healing, he murmured. Golden wolf resilience. Lucky me. His eyes met mine. This close, I could see flecks of darker silver in them. Could feel the heat radiating off him, the barely leashed power. You don't have a choice anymore, Mara, he said quietly. Intensely. You're mine to protect, whether you accept it or not. I'm not yours. 3 assassins broke into the most secure palace in the kingdom and nearly killed you. His hands settled on my shoulders, careful of my wound. In my territory. Under my protection. That's a declaration of war, and I will burn down every pack, every territory, every hiding hole until I find who's responsible. Why? I whispered. You don't even know me. Because you're a golden wolf. Because you're under my protection. Because, he stopped. Something shifted in his expression. Because I failed Lyanna, and I will not fail you. The words hung between us, raw and honest and completely unexpected. I should have pulled away. Should have insisted I could protect myself. Should have said something cutting and clever to break the moment. Instead, I said, 1 year. That's all I'm agreeing to. His breath escaped in something that might have been relief. 1 year. Separate chambers. Separate lives. This is business, not a bond. I know. His hands dropped from my shoulders. I'll have fresh guards posted. These rooms are compromised. You'll move to the royal wing tomorrow. The royal wing? Where I can keep you safe. He stepped back, and the distance felt deliberate. Necessary. Get some sleep, Luna. Tomorrow, we announce our arrangement to the Pax. Luna. The title settled over me like a crown made of thorns. Darius moved toward the door, then paused. Looked back at the bodies cooling on my floor. Mara? Yeah? Thank you for trusting me. He met my eyes. I know how hard that must be for you. Then he was gone, calling for guards, his voice echoing down the hallway as he barked orders about cleanup and investigations and doubling security. I stood in the ruins of my too beautiful prison cell and wondered what the hell I'd just agreed to. 1 year as the Alpha King's contract Luna. 1 year of playing pretend while assassins tried to kill me and rival Alphas circled like sharks. 1 year of living next to a man who looked at me like I was worth protecting, even though I wasn't sure I believed it myself. My wolf hummed with satisfaction. He'll keep us safe. Maybe, I whispered. But who's going to keep my heart safe from him? Because despite everything, despite the violence and the blood and the cold business arrangement, when Darius had touched me, when he'd promised protection, I'd felt something I hadn't felt in 5 years. Hope. And that terrified me more than any assassin ever could. Chapter 3. The ceremony gown weighed more than it should. Silver silk that pooled at my feet like liquid moonlight, with crystals sewn into the bodice that caught every candle flame in the grand hall. Someone had woven tiny diamonds into my hair. The effect was stunning, I'd been told. I felt like a doll dressed for display. You look beautiful, the handmaiden whispered as she adjusted my train. I didn't feel beautiful. I felt numb. Through the carved wooden doors, I could hear the crowd, hundreds of wolves from every pack in the kingdom, gathered to witness the Alpha King take a Luna. Music played. Voices murmured. Someone laughed, the sound bright and jarring against my racing heartbeat. It's time, Miss Bennet. Not Miss Bennet anymore, I thought. In 10 minutes, I'd be Luna Mara Blackthorn. At least on paper. The doors opened. The grand hall stretched before me like something from a fairy tale. Marble columns wrapped in white roses, silver banners hanging from vaulted ceilings, wolves in formal dress standing in neat rows on either side of a long aisle. At the end, on a raised platform beneath an arch of twisted silver branches, stood Darius. He wore black. Of course he did. Formal alpha regalia with silver threading and the royal crest over his heart. His dark hair was swept back, making his silver eyes more prominent. More intense. When our gazes locked, something flickered across his face, too quick to name, before his expression smoothed into practiced neutrality. No smile. No warmth. Just duty. My wolf whined softly. He's beautiful. He's our warden, I muttered under my breath. But I walked toward him anyway, each step measured and careful, the train whispering against marble. Faces blurred on either side. I didn't look at them. Couldn't. If I looked, I might see Cain. Or worse, Celeste. The aisle felt endless. Finally, I reached the platform. Climbed 3 steps. Stood facing Darius with barely 2 feet between us. Mara, he said quietly. Just my name, but it sounded different in his voice. Solid. Real. Your Majesty. The officiant stepped forward, an ancient wolf with white hair and kind eyes. Elder Catherine, Darius had said. The only council member he truly trusted. We gather today, she began, her voice carrying through the silent hall, to witness the binding of Alpha King Darius Blackthorn and Mara Bennett, joining their paths in service to the kingdom and the greater good of all Pax. Service. Good. Not love. Not fate. Not any of the words usually spoken at matings. This was business, and everyone knew it. Do you, Darius Blackthorn, swear to honor this arrangement? To protect, provide for, and stand beside Mara Bennett as Luna of this kingdom for the term agreed upon? I swear it. His voice was steady. Final. Elder Catherine turned to me. Do you, Mara Bennett, swear to honor this arrangement? To serve, support, and stand beside Darius Blackthorn as Luna of this kingdom for the term agreed upon? 1 year. Just 1 year. Then freedom. I swear it. Then by the authority granted to me by the moon goddess and the ancient laws of our kind, I bind you in contract and purpose. She lifted a silver chain, 2 interlocking circles, neither quite complete on their own. This is not a mate bond. This is not fate's choosing. But it is sacred nonetheless. Wear these as symbols of your commitment. Darius took 1 circle. I took the other. We clasped them around each other's necks, his fingers brushing my collarbone, mine grazing his throat. The silver was cool against my skin. Light as a promise. Heavy as chains. You may seal the contract. This was the part I'd been dreading. Darius stepped closer. His hand cupped my jaw, tilting my face up, and for a heartbeat, I saw something raw in his eyes. Then he kissed me. It was supposed to be quick. Formal. Meaningless. It wasn't. His lips were warm, firm, tasting of mint and something darker. My wolf surged forward with approval, and before I could stop myself, my hands found his shoulders. The kiss deepened, just slightly, just enough, before Darius pulled back, his expression carefully blank. But his thumb brushed my cheek. Once. Gentle. Then he turned to face the crowd, my hand in his, and the hall erupted in applause. I present Luna Mara Blackthorn, Elder Catherine announced. May her reign be blessed. The cheering grew louder. Wolves stomped their feet. Someone whistled. I smiled because I had to. Squeezed Darius's hand because appearances mattered. And pretended my lips didn't still burn from his kiss. The reception was exactly the kind of torture I'd expected. A ballroom filled with political vultures, all watching to see if the broken rogue could actually pull off being Luna. Orchestra music floated through air thick with perfume and ambition. Servers circulated with champagne and tiny, beautiful food I was too nervous to eat. Darius stayed beside me for the first hour. Playing the part perfectly, his hand on my lower back, leaning in to whisper translations of political doublespeak, introducing me to alphas whose names I'd never remember. Alpha Cord from the Western Ridge, Darius said smoothly. His pack specializes in border security. Alpha Cord was massive, with a scar across his jaw and eyes that lingered too long on my neckline. Luna Mara. What a pleasant surprise. We'd heard rumors of your unique nature. Translation: everyone knows you're a golden wolf, and I'm deciding if you're worth challenging Darius for. How kind of you to attend, I said, matching his smile. I've heard wonderful things about your territory's defenses. Translation: try something, and see what happens. His smile widened. Indeed. Perhaps we could discuss mutual protection sometime. Without the Alpha King present. Darius's hand tightened on my waist. My Luna schedule is quite full, I'm afraid. Of course. Cord inclined his head. Another time, then. He moved away, but I felt his gaze on us for long minutes after. He'll be a problem, I murmured. Most of them will be. Darius guided me toward the edge of the room, away from immediate ears. The first few weeks are critical. They're all testing boundaries, looking for weaknesses. Weaknesses like a contract Luna with no real bond? Exactly. He handed me a glass of champagne from a passing server. Which is why we need to sell this. Convince them we're united. Strong. How do we do that? His eyes met mine. We pretend very well. Before I could respond, the orchestra shifted into a waltz. Darius set down his own glass and offered his hand. May I? It wasn't really a question. I let him lead me onto the dance floor. His hand settled at my waist, mine on his shoulder, and suddenly we were moving, sweeping across polished marble in time with music that felt too romantic for what this was. You dance well, he said. My mother insisted on lessons. Said a proper Luna should know how. Your mother was right. I looked up at him, surprised by the almost compliment. This close, I could see details I'd missed before, a small scar above his left eyebrow, the way his jaw tightened when he was thinking, how his silver eyes held flecks of blue near the center. You're staring, he murmured. So are you. I'm supposed to. We're newly bonded. Everyone expects me to be captivated. Are you? Captivated? Something shifted in his expression. You're making this very difficult, Luna. Making what difficult? Keeping my distance. The admission caught me off guard. Before I could process it, he spun me out and back, the movement graceful and controlled. When I collided with his chest, his arm tightened around me, protective, possessive, and I heard a low growl rumble from his throat. I followed his gaze. Alpha Cord was watching us again, his expression calculating. Easy, I whispered. He's just looking. He's thinking about challenging my claim. Darius's voice dropped lower. My wolf wants to remove his eyes. That seems excessive. Does it? He looked down at me, and for the first time since the ceremony, his mask slipped completely. You're mine to protect, Mara. Contract or not, bond or not, you're under my care. And when someone looks at what's mine like they're planning to take it. He trailed off, but I understood. Felt an answering heat flare in my own chest. He's protecting us, my wolf hummed. Like a real mate would. He's not our mate, I told her silently. But God, for a moment there, it had almost felt like he could be. I should have known Celeste would find me. Darius had been pulled away by his head counselor, Elder Thorn, a severe man with cold eyes, leaving me near the dessert table, trying to look composed while internally panicking. That's when I felt her presence. Smelled her familiar perfume. Jasmine and lies. Hello, sister. I turned slowly. Celeste stood 3 feet away, radiant in deep blue silk that complemented her pregnancy. 6 months along now, her belly round and proud. She'd always been beautiful, blonde hair, blue eyes, the kind of features that made people stop and stare. Next to her, I'd always felt plain. Now, dressed in silver and diamonds, I realized something had shifted. She was still beautiful. But I was Luna. Celeste. I kept my voice neutral. You look well. And you look like you've landed on your feet. Her smile was poison sweet. Funny how things work out. The broken, rejected wolf becomes queen. It's almost like a fairy tale. It's a contract arrangement. Nothing more. Of course. She moved closer, her hand resting on her belly. Cain told me what happened in the throne room. Your golden wolf. He was quite affected by the revelation. I didn't want to talk about Cain. I'm happy for you both. Congratulations on the baby. Are you? Her eyes glittered. Because you don't look happy. You look like someone playing dress up, pretending to be something they're not. What do you want, Celeste? Just to catch up with my dear sister. She picked up a champagne flute, swirled it thoughtfully. Do you remember that night? 5 years ago, when you came home bleeding and terrified, babbling about elders and rituals? My chest tightened. Yes. I was there, you know. In the next room when Cain rejected you. She took a delicate sip. I heard everything. You're crying. You're begging. It was pathetic, really. If you came here to gloat. I came here to confess. Her smile widened. I knew about the elders' plan, Mara. Knew about it for months before they tried to take you. The world tilted. What? Elder Frost came to me. Said they needed a golden wolf for their ritual. Asked if I knew of any in the pack. She laughed softly. I told them about your little quirks. Your faster healing. Your strange dreams. I practically gift-wrapped you for them. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Why? Because Cain was mine. She set down the glass, her expression hardening. You were always in the way, perfect Mara, sweet Mara, destined to be beta female. I wanted what you had, and the elders offered me a solution. You tried to have me killed. I tried to have your wolf killed. You were just collateral. She shrugged. It didn't work, obviously. You broke your own wolf, Cain rejected you, and you ran. I got everything I wanted. Except he's standing in the corner staring at me instead of you. I regretted the words immediately. Celeste's face contorted with rage. Enjoy your contract Luna position while it lasts, she hissed. Because everyone here knows the truth, you're not a real queen. You're a placeholder warming the bed of a king who's still in love with his dead mate. And when your year is up, you'll go back to being nothing. She swept away before I could respond, leaving me standing there with her words echoing in my head. My own sister. My own blood. She tried to kill me. I made it through the rest of the reception on autopilot. Smiled. Nodded. Pretended my world hadn't just shattered into smaller pieces. When it finally ended, when the last alpha had paid respects and the orchestra had packed up and the servants began clearing champagne flutes, Darius materialized at my side. You're pale, he said. What happened? Nothing. Just tired. Mara. I'm fine. I forced a smile. It's been a long day. He studied me for a moment, clearly not believing me, but he didn't push. Just offered his arm. Come. I'll walk you to your new chambers. The royal wing was quieter than the east wing. Darker, too, more shadows, fewer windows. My rooms were connected to Darius's through a shared sitting area, he explained. Private spaces on either end, common ground in the middle. For appearances, he said. People will expect us to spend time together. Of course. He stopped at my door. Started to say something. Stopped. Started again. I know this isn't what you wanted, he finally said. This life. This arrangement. But I meant what I said, I'll keep you safe, Mara. Whatever that takes. Even from my own family? The question slipped out before I could stop it. Darius's expression sharpened. What did Celeste say to you? It doesn't matter. It does if it's hurting you. The gentleness in his voice nearly broke me. I looked away, blinking hard. She knew, I whispered. About the elders. About their plan to sacrifice my wolf. She told them where to find me. Silence. Heavy and dark. Your own sister tried to have you killed? I nodded, not trusting my voice. Darius was quiet for a long moment. Then, would you like me to exile her from the kingdom? I looked at him, startled. What? She's here because Cain is beta of Silver Moon, which is an allied pack. But if she's a threat to my Luna, contract or not, I can revoke her access to royal territory. His eyes were cold. Lethal. Say the word, Mara. I'll have her escorted to the border by dawn. Part of me wanted to say yes. To watch Celeste's face when guards came for her, to see her humiliation mirror my own from 5 years ago. But I was tired of revenge. Tired of anger. No, I said softly. Let her stay. She's pregnant. I won't punish Cain's child for her sins. You're more merciful than she deserves. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just tired of letting her control my life. I met his gaze. She wanted me to feel small tonight. Broken. But standing here, in this palace, wearing this crown, I realized something. What? I survived. Despite everything she did, despite everything that was taken from me, I'm still standing. That's victory enough. Something shifted in Darius's expression. Respect, maybe. Or understanding. You're stronger than you think, he said quietly. Or stupider than I should be. Both can be true. The corner of his mouth lifted, not quite a smile, but close. Get some rest, Luna. Tomorrow, the real work begins. He started to leave, then paused. Turned back. Mara? Yeah? You were right earlier. During the dance. His silver eyes caught the hallway torchlight. I was captivated. Just so you know. Then he was gone, leaving me alone with those words and a racing heart. I'd been asleep for maybe 2 hours when the pounding started. Luna Mara. A voice shouted through the door. The king requests your presence immediately. I stumbled out of bed, threw on a robe, yanked open the door. A young guard stood there, breathing hard. What's wrong? Council meeting. Emergency. The king insists you attend. 5 minutes later, I was speed-walking through torchlit corridors toward the council chambers, my hair a mess, still in sleeping clothes and a borrowed cloak. The guard pushed open heavy double doors, and I stepped into organized chaos. A dozen people crowded around a massive table covered in maps and documents. Darius stood at the head, still in his formal clothes from the reception, looking like he hadn't slept. Elder Thorn was there, along with other council members I'd been introduced to but couldn't name yet. Ah, Luna Mara. Elder Thorn's smile didn't reach his eyes. How kind of you to join us. What's happened? I moved to Darius's side automatically. We've had concerning news. Darius gestured to a sealed letter on the table. Royal seal, but not one I recognized. A message arrived an hour ago from the Northern Territories. The Northern Territories. Even I knew what that meant. The wildest, most dangerous packs in the realm. Led by Alpha Kale Nightshade, Elder Thorn said, as if reading my thoughts. He's heard about your golden wolf, Luna. And he's coming to challenge the Alpha King's claim. My blood ran cold. Challenge? Ancient law allows any Alpha to challenge for rights to a golden wolf, Darius explained, his voice tight. Trial by combat. Winner takes the Luna. That's barbaric. That's tradition. Elder Thorn leaned forward. Which is why, Your Majesty, I must insist we take precautions. The Luna should undergo formal trials to prove her worthiness before Alpha Kale arrives. If she fails, we can claim the bond is void, and... No, Darius cut him off. Absolutely not. With respect, Your Majesty, the Luna trials would demonstrate her strength. Prove she's worthy of your protection. Thorn's eyes slid to me. Unless there's reason to believe she'd fail? The room went silent. Every wolf there was watching me. Judging. The trials are dangerous, Darius said. Wolves have died. Only the weak ones. Thorn smiled. I'm sure Luna Mara is stronger than she appears. Elder Thorn. Actually, I interrupted, surprising myself, what exactly are these trials? 3 tests, Thorn explained. Strength, cunning, and sacrifice. Each designed to prove a Luna's worth to her pack. It's old tradition, hasn't been used in centuries, but the law still stands. And if I refuse? Then Alpha Kale has grounds to claim the contract is invalid. That you're unworthy of protection. Thorne's expression was smug. He'll challenge anyway, of course. But at least this way, you'd have a chance to prove yourself first. I looked at Darius. Saw the tension in his jaw, the way his hands clenched on the table edge. It's your choice, he said quietly. I won't force you. But we both knew I didn't really have a choice. If I refused, I'd look weak. Give Kale ammunition. Prove every wolf in this room right about the broken rogue playing queen. Fine, I said. I'll do the trials. Luna. I can handle it. I met Darius's eyes. Trust me. Something flickered across his face. Then he nodded once, sharp. Very well. Schedule the trials for 3 days from now. That gives Mara time to prepare. He turned to Thorne. And Elder? If anything happens to her during these trials, anything at all, I'll hold you personally responsible. The threat hung in the air like smoke. The meeting broke up. Council members filed out, whispering among themselves. I started to leave too, but Darius caught my wrist. Wait. When we were alone, he turned to face me. His expression was careful. Guarded. You don't have to do this, he said. I can refuse the trials. Deal with the political fallout. And let Kale use it against you? Against us? I shook my head. I need to prove I'm not a liability, Darius. This is the only way. The trials could kill you. So could assassins. So could Kale. So could any of the dozen threats we're apparently facing. I tried to smile. At least with trials, I have some control. He was quiet for a moment. Then, I need to know what you're really hiding, Mara. My heart stuttered. What? Your wolf. Your power. He stepped closer. I've seen golden wolves in ancient texts. Read the legends. They're not just rare, they're supposed to have abilities beyond normal shifters. Strength, speed, healing. Some could allegedly manipulate moonlight itself. That's just myth. Is it? His silver eyes pinned me. Because when you shifted in the throne room, the light that came off you wasn't normal. And your wound from the assassin healed in hours, not days. So I'll ask again, what are you hiding? I wanted to lie. To deflect. To protect the secret I'd kept for 5 years. But he'd promised to protect me. Maybe it was time I trusted him with the truth. I don't know, I admitted. I've kept my wolf buried for so long, I don't know what she can really do. The night I hid her, when the elders tried their ritual, I felt something. Power. More than I should have had. It scared me, so I locked it away along with everything else. And now? Now I'm terrified that if I let her fully out, I won't be able to control what happens. Darius was quiet. Then, gently, the trials will force you to access that power. You know that, right? I know. And you're still willing to try? I don't have a choice. There's always a choice, Mara. Not for people like me. I pulled my hand free from his grip. Broken wolves don't get choices. We just survive. I left before he could argue. Walked back to my chambers on shaking legs, my mind racing. 3 days. I had 3 days to figure out how to pass trials designed to kill weak Lunas. 3 days before Alpha Kale arrived with his challenge. 3 days before everything I'd built. This fragile contract, this temporary safety, came crashing down. My wolf stirred beneath my skin, restless and eager. We can do this, she seemed to say. We're stronger than they know. I hope you're right, I whispered into the darkness. Because if you're not, we're both dead. Chapter 4. The northern delegation arrived 3 days later like a storm given form. I was in the training yard, working through combat drills with the Royal Guards, when the horns sounded. 3 sharp blasts that echoed across the palace grounds, making everyone freeze mid-movement. Northern Territory, the captain said grimly. Alpha Kale's here. My stomach dropped. I'd known he was coming, but knowing and experiencing were different things. The captain dismissed the guards, but I stayed, watching from the yard as the gates opened. 50 wolves poured through. Maybe more. All dressed in dark furs and leather, moving with the fluid grace of predators who'd never known civilized softness. At their center rode a man who could only be Alpha Kale Nightshade. He was massive, easily 6'5", with shoulders that spoke of brutal strength. Dark hair fell past his shoulders, and even from a distance, I could see the scars marking his face and arms. This was a wolf who'd earned his position through violence, not politics. Impressive, isn't he? I turned. Darius stood behind me, dressed in formal alpha regalia, his expression carved from ice. Terrifying is more accurate, I said. That too. He moved to stand beside me, and I noticed how the guard straightened, how everyone in the yard suddenly looked more alert. Kale's pack controls the most hostile territory in the north. They fight rogues weekly, survive winters that would kill softer wolves. He's probably the deadliest alpha in the realm. Aside from you? We'll find out soon enough. His jaw tightened. Come. We need to greet him formally. He offered his arm. I took it, feeling the tension coiled beneath his skin. Darius, I said quietly as we walked toward the main courtyard. You don't have to accept his challenge. We could. There is no other option. His voice was flat. Final. If I refuse, I look weak. Every alpha in the kingdom will question my right to rule. Some will challenge. Others will rebel. The stability I've built for 3 years will collapse. And if you lose? He didn't answer. Didn't need to. We both knew what happened if he lost. Kale would claim me. The throne. Everything. The formal greeting took place in the grand courtyard, with half the palace watching from windows and balconies. Darius and I stood on the main steps, flanked by guards and council members. Elder Thorn hovered nearby, his expression carefully neutral. Kale dismounted with predatory grace. Up close, he was even more intimidating. Taller than Darius, broader, with golden eyes that assessed me like prey. Alpha King Darius Blackthorn. His voice was deep, rough around the edges. It's been too long. Alpha Kale. Darius's tone stayed level. Welcome to my territory. Though I suspect this isn't a social visit. No. Kale's gaze slid to me. Lingered. I've come for her. Every wolf in the courtyard tensed. I felt Darius's arm tighten beneath my hand. Luna Mara is my contracted mate, Darius said carefully. Recognized and sealed before witnesses. Your claim has no standing. Doesn't it? Kale smiled, all teeth, no warmth. Ancient law states that a golden wolf belongs to the strongest alpha. Your contract is politics, Blackthorn. Not strength. Not worthiness. The contract is binding. Then let's test that binding. Kale moved closer, climbing 2 steps. I invoke the right of challenge. Ancient combat, alpha to alpha. Winner claims the throne, the territory, and the golden wolf. Gasps rippled through the watching crowd. Even Elder Thorn looked surprised. The right of challenge was the oldest law in our kind's history, brutal, final, and absolute. 2 alphas entered. 1 left. The other died. You'd challenge me to the death over a woman you've never met? Darius asked quietly. I'm challenging you because your kingdom grows weak under contract arrangements and political marriages. Kale's expression hardened. The old ways kept us strong. Made us hunters, not bureaucrats. Your reign has made these packs soft. My reign has brought peace. Peace is another word for weakness. Kale's eyes flashed gold. So yes, I challenge you. For the throne, the territory, and the golden wolf who could restore strength to our bloodlines. Silence fell like snow. I wanted to speak. To argue that I wasn't property to be won. But protocol demanded only the challenged alpha could respond to the right of challenge. Darius was quiet for a long moment. Then, I accept. The courtyard erupted. Wolves shouted. Some cheered. Others protested. Elder Thorn stepped forward, calling for order. But I barely heard any of it. I was staring at Darius, at the grim set of his jaw, the way his hands clenched at his sides. He'd just agreed to fight to the death. For me. For a contract Luna he barely knew. The challenge will take place in 3 days, Elder Thorn announced once the noise died down. At the sacred grounds, under the full moon. All packs may witness. Kale grinned. 3 days then, Blackthorn. I hope you're ready. I'm always ready. We'll see. Kale's gaze found mine again. And you, little Luna. I look forward to getting to know you better. After. The promise in those words made my skin crawl. Darius moved slightly, just a fraction, but enough to put himself more solidly between Kale and me. She's under my protection until the challenge is complete. Of course. Kale bowed mockingly. I wouldn't dream of breaking protocol. He left with his wolves, and suddenly I could breathe again. Inside, Darius said quietly. Now. We made it to his private study before I exploded. Are you insane? I rounded on him the moment the door closed. Fight to the death? You could die. I won't. You don't know that. Kale is. I know exactly what he is. Darius moved to the window, staring out at the mountains. I've fought him before. 5 years ago, border dispute. He's strong, fast, and completely ruthless. And you're planning to fight him anyway. I don't have a choice, Mara. There's always a choice. Not for kings. He turned to face me. If I refuse, I'm weak. If I'm weak, the kingdom fractures. Packs rebel. Wolves die. So yes, I'll fight. And yes, I'll win. How can you be so sure? Because losing isn't an option. His expression softened slightly. I made you a promise, Mara. Protection. Safety. I intend to keep it. Even if it kills you? Even then. The certainty in his voice terrified me more than Kale's threat. I sank into a chair, suddenly exhausted. There has to be another way. If there is, I haven't found it. He moved to the desk, pulled out a crystal decanter of amber liquid, poured 2 glasses. Handed me one. Drink. You look like you need it. I did. The liquor burned going down, but it helped settle my nerves. Kale said something, I murmured. About the golden wolf restoring strength to bloodlines. What did he mean? Darius was quiet for a moment. There are legends. Old stories about what golden wolves could do. Beyond shifting, beyond normal wolf abilities. Like what? Enhance strength for their mates. Healing powers. Some texts claim they could influence other wolves' abilities, make them stronger or weaker depending on the golden wolf's will. He met my eyes. Has your wolf ever done anything unusual? I thought about the night with the elders. The power I'd felt building beneath my skin before I'd locked it away. I don't know, I admitted. Maybe. But I've been so focused on hiding her, I never let her fully emerge. The trials will change that. Right. The Luna trials. In my panic about Kale's challenge, I'd almost forgotten about those. When are they scheduled? I asked. Tomorrow. Dawn. Darius finished his drink. Elder Thorn pushed them up. Claims we need to prove your worth before the challenge. Or he's hoping I'll fail. That too. He set down his glass. Which is why you need to rest tonight. Be ready. I wanted to argue. To demand more answers. But exhaustion pulled at me like chains. All right, I said quietly. I'll go. I made it to the door before his voice stopped me. Mara? Yeah? Whatever happens in the challenge, whatever Cale threatens or promises, know that I won't let him take you. Contract or not, bond or not. You're under my protection. That means something to me. The raw honesty in his words made my chest ache. It means something to me too, I whispered. Then I left before I could say anything else. Anything stupid. Anything true. The palace archives were exactly what I needed, dusty, forgotten, and filled with secrets. I couldn't sleep. Kept seeing Cale's golden eyes, hearing the certainty in Darius's voice when he'd accepted the death challenge. So instead of lying awake in my too large bed, I'd slipped out, avoiding guards, and found my way here. Rows of shelves stretched into shadow, packed with ancient texts and crumbling scrolls. I'd been searching for an hour, pulling down anything about golden wolves, when I finally found it. A leather-bound journal, so old the pages cracked when I opened them. The handwriting was cramped, faded, but legible. Journal of Luna Seraphine, Year of the Crimson Moon. They call us golden wolves as if we're blessed. Beautiful. Gifts from the moon goddess herself. But they don't understand what we really are. What we can really do. The power isn't just strength or healing. It's judgment. A golden wolf, when fully awakened, can strip an alpha of his wolf. Make him human. Vulnerable. It's meant to be a last defense, a way to protect ourselves from alphas who would use us, abuse us, cage us. But some have learned to use it offensively. To weaken alphas before battle. To steal their power and transfer it elsewhere. This is why they hunt us. Why they want us. Not for our beauty or our bloodlines, but for our ability to destroy the strongest wolves with a touch. My hands shook as I read. The Luna's judgment. That's what the elders had wanted. Why they tried to sacrifice me 5 years ago, not just for general power, but for this specific ability. And Cale knew. Had to know. That's why he'd really come. Interesting reading? I spun around. A woman stood in the shadows between shelves, young, maybe mid-20s, with dark hair and silver eyes that looked hauntingly familiar. Who are you? I demanded. Lyanna Blackthorn. She stepped into the candlelight, and I saw it clearly. She had Darius's cheekbones, his sharp jaw. The king's younger sister. And you must be the contract Luna who's got everyone in a panic. I didn't mean to. Relax. She waved a hand. I'm not here to judge. I'm actually here to help. Help with what? With not getting my brother killed. She moved closer, glanced at the journal in my hands. Ah. You found Seraphine's writings. Smart. Most Lunas never think to look in the archives. You know about the Luna's judgment? I know about a lot of things. She pulled up a chair, sat backwards on it. Including the fact that Cale isn't just here for a straightforward challenge. He's planning something. Something involving your powers. How do you know? Because I've been tracking the Northern Pacts for years. Her expression hardened. After my brother's first mate died, I started investigating. Looking for answers about who might want him weakened. Dead. Darius said she was killed by rogues. Darius believes that because that's what we let him believe. Lyanna's eyes met mine. But Lyanna, my namesake, his mate, wasn't killed by rogues. She was murdered. Assassinated by someone in this court who wanted to destabilize his rule. My blood ran cold. Who? I suspect Elder Thorn. Can't prove it yet, but he's been making moves. Consolidating power. Pushing for laws that would limit the king's authority. She leaned forward. And now he's pushing for your trials, for this challenge. He wants you to fail. Wants Darius weakened. Wants control, I finished. Exactly. We sat in silence for a moment. Then, why are you telling me this? Because my brother is too honorable for his own good. He won't see the betrayal coming until it's too late. Lioness stood. But you? You've been betrayed before. By family, by your mate. You know how to recognize snakes. She wasn't wrong. What do you want me to do? Learn to control your power. The Luna's judgment. She tapped the journal. If Kale's planning what I think he is, he'll try to force you to use it against Darius during the challenge. Make you strip my brother's wolf so Kale can kill him easily. Horror flooded through me. I would never. Not willingly. But there are ways to compel golden wolves. Drugs, rituals, threats. Lioness' jaw tightened. You need to learn to control it yourself before someone else controls it for you. I don't know how. Then we'll figure it out. Together. She offered her hand. What do you say, sister-in-law? Want to save my idiot brother from his own nobility? I looked at her hand. At this fierce woman who reminded me so much of Darius, it hurt. Then I took it. Let's save him, I said. The next 2 days passed in a blur of secret training and growing dread. Lioness snuck me out of the palace before dawn each morning, taking me to an abandoned temple deep in the royal forest. There, she pushed me to access my wolf, to feel the power beneath my skin without fully shifting. It's like breathing, she explained on the second day. You don't think about it, you just do it. Easy for you to say. I was shaking, power crackling along my arms like lightning. You're not the one who feels like they're going to explode. You won't explode. You'll just, she paused. Actually, I'm not sure what you'll do. The texts aren't specific. That's comforting. Try focusing on a target. Something you want to affect. She shifted into her wolf, a beautiful silver creature with dark markings, and stood waiting. Try it on me. Just a little. See if you can feel my wolf. I closed my eyes. Reached out with that strange new sense I'd been developing. And there it was. Her wolf's presence, bright and strong, like a flame in the darkness. I feel it, I whispered. Good. Now try to dim it. Just slightly. Like turning down a lamp. I focused. Pushed gently with my power. Lioness yelped. Her wolf flickered, just for a second, before she shifted back to human form. Holy shit, she breathed. That was. I couldn't feel my wolf for a moment. Like she was just gone. Did I hurt you? No. Just surprised me. She grinned. But that's it, Mara. That's the Luna's judgment. You can control it. Maybe. But I wasn't sure I wanted to. That evening, there was another council meeting. More politics, more tension. Elder Thorn kept pushing for contingency plans if Darius fell in the challenge. Other council members argued. The room felt thick with unspoken agendas. I sat beside Darius, playing the dutiful Luna, while inside I was screaming. After, when everyone had left, Darius asked me to stay. You've been distant, he said quietly. Avoiding me. I've been preparing for the trials. Not a complete lie. Mara. He moved closer. I know something's wrong. Talk to me. I wanted to. God, I wanted to tell him everything, about Lioness' suspicions, about the Luna's judgment, about my fear that I'd somehow be used against him. But before I could speak, voices erupted from the hallway. Shouting. Then Lioness burst in, her face pale. We have a problem, she said. Kale's wolves just attacked one of our border patrols. 3 dead, 5 wounded. Darius's expression went lethal. During a sanctioned challenge period? That breaks every law of combat. He's sending a message, Lioness said grimly. He wants you angry. Reckless. He's succeeding. Darius started for the door. I caught his arm. Don't. That's exactly what he wants, for you to challenge him before you're ready, while your emotions are high. My wolves are dead, Mara. And more will die if you fight him wrong. I stepped in front of him. Please. Think strategically. Not emotionally. He looked down at me, and I saw the war in his eyes, duty versus rage, strategy versus instinct. Finally, he nodded. You're right. I'll wait. But the tension in his body told me how much it cost him. That night, I couldn't stay in my chambers. I found myself on the royal balcony, staring out at the city lights below. The moon was nearly full. In 2 days, it would be complete. Challenge night. Can't sleep either. I turned. Darius stood in the doorway, dressed simply in dark pants and a loose shirt. Without his formal regalia, he looked younger. More human. Too much on my mind, I admitted. He joined me at the railing. For a while, we just stood there in silence, watching the world below. I keep thinking about Lyanna, he said finally. My mate, not my sister. How I failed her. I glanced at him. His profile was carved from shadow and moonlight. What happened? I asked softly. We were on a diplomatic mission to the Eastern Territories. She was 6 months pregnant, glowing, so happy. His voice roughened. I left her for 3 hours. 3 hours to meet with their alpha, discuss trade agreements. When I came back, she was dead. Our child was dead. And the rogues responsible had vanished like smoke. I'm sorry. Everyone's sorry. But sorry doesn't bring them back. He gripped the railing. I should have been there. Should have protected her. That's what alphas do. We protect our mates. And I failed. You can't blame yourself for. Can't I? He turned to face me. I'm the Alpha King. The strongest wolf in the kingdom. And I couldn't save the woman I loved. What kind of king does that make me? A human one. The words came out gentler than I intended. You're not invincible, Darius. You can't control everything. I'm supposed to control enough to keep my people safe. My mates safe. He stopped. Looked at me with those devastating silver eyes. You. My breath caught. This started as strategy, he continued quietly. A contract arrangement to stabilize the kingdom. Keep rival packs at bay. I told myself it was purely political. That I wouldn't let it become more. Darius. But somewhere between your defiance in that throne room and your strength in the face of everything trying to destroy you, it became real for me. He reached out, brushed a strand of hair from my face. You became real. Not a contract, Luna. Not a political tool. Just, you. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Could only feel his fingers against my cheek, the intensity in his gaze. I don't know what to do with that, he admitted. Don't know how to protect you when I can barely control what I feel. But I needed you to know. Before the challenge. Before everything changes. What if you lose? I whispered. I won't. His hand dropped. But if I do, fight Kale. Use every power you have. Don't let him cage you like your pack tried to. Don't let anyone make you small again. Darius. Promise me, Mara. I promise. Tears burned in my eyes. But you have to promise me something too. Promise you'll win. That you'll come back. He smiled, sad and beautiful. I'll do my best. Then he walked away, leaving me alone on the balcony with moonlight and tears and a heart that was breaking for a man I'd sworn I'd never care about. A man who just admitted he cared about me. A man who might die in 2 days because of it. I gripped the railing, staring up at the nearly full moon. Please, I whispered to the goddess I'd stopped believing in years ago. Please let him live. Let us both live. Let there be a way through this that doesn't end in blood. The moon offered no answer. But somewhere in the city below, a wolf howled. Then another. And another. And I knew, with terrible certainty, that the challenge was coming, ready or not. Chapter 5. The ancient fighting grounds were older than the kingdom itself. Stone circles carved by wolves long dead, worn smooth by centuries of challenges, victories, deaths. The earth here was dark, stained with the blood of alphas who'd fought for power, for honor, for survival. Today, it would be stained again. I stood in the designated Luna's box, a raised platform draped in silver and black, surrounded by guards and council members. Lyanna pressed close to my left side, her hand gripping mine so tight my fingers ached. Below, in the center of the largest circle, Darius stood in human form. Bare-chested, wearing only loose combat pants, his body a map of old scars and new determination. Across from him, equally undressed, stood Chaol Nightshade. Bigger, broader, radiating savage confidence. Between them stood Elder Catherine, who would officiate. This challenge, she called out, her voice carrying across the packed grounds, is sanctioned by ancient law. 2 alphas enter. 1 leaves. The victor claims all disputed territory and rights. Meaning Chaol would claim me if Darius fell. My wolf snarled beneath my skin. He won't fall. Our alpha is strong. But I'd seen the way Darius moved this morning, stiff, tired. He'd been awake for 3 days straight, managing border attacks, council disputes, and challenge preparations. Chaol, meanwhile, looked fresh. Rested. Ready. Combatants may fight in human or wolf form, Elder Catherine continued. Shifting is permitted at will. The challenge ends only when one party yields or dies. Dies. Such a small word for something so permanent. Do both parties consent to these terms? I consent, Darius said. His voice was steady, but I saw his hands clench at his sides. I consent, Chaol rumbled, grinning like he'd already won. Then let the challenge begin. Elder Catherine stepped back. The crowd went silent, hundreds of wolves holding their breath. Darius shifted first. His transformation was poetry, bones flowing, muscle rippling, dark fur emerging like smoke. His wolf was massive, midnight black with silver markings along his spine that caught the morning sun. Alpha power radiated from him in waves that made lesser wolves in the crowd whimper. Chaol shifted a heartbeat later. His wolf was even larger. Rust-brown with golden eyes that promised violence. Scars marked his muzzle, his shoulders. This was a wolf who'd survived countless battles. They circled each other. Once. Twice. Then Chaol lunged. The impact shook the ground. Teeth and claws flashed as they collided, breaking apart, circling, lunging again. Darius was faster, landing strikes that drew blood. But Chaol was relentless, absorbing hits and dealing devastating counters. They fought with savage intensity. 2 apex predators, both refusing to yield. The crowd roared. Wolves from different packs shouted support or insults. The violence was hypnotic, terrible, impossible to look away from. He's doing well, Lyanna whispered beside me. Better than I expected. But I heard the worry beneath her words. Darius landed a brutal bite to Chaol's shoulder. The northern alpha howled, stumbled back, bleeding heavily. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then everything went wrong. The first arrow came from nowhere, a black streak that buried itself in Darius's hindquarters. He yelped, stumbled. The second arrow followed, then a third, all striking with impossible precision. Wolfsbane, someone screamed. The arrows are poisoned. Chaos erupted. Wolves surged to their feet, shouting. Elder Catherine called for the challenge to stop. But Darius was already collapsing, his massive body shuddering as poison spread through his system. Kael stood over him, but he wasn't moving in for the kill. He looked confused. Angry. This wasn't the plan, he snarled, shifting back to human. Who ordered the arrows? I did. Elder Thorn stepped into the arena, flanked by 20 wolves in dark armor. His face held none of its usual political pleasantness. Only cold ambition. You've played your part well, Alpha Kael, Thorn said. But I'm afraid your challenge ends here. What treachery is this? Kael demanded. Strategic necessity. Thorn gestured, and his wolves surrounded both fallen Darius and confused Kael. You were never meant to win, Nightshade. Just to weaken our dear king enough for this next phase. The next phase? My voice cut through the noise. I was already moving, descending from the platform despite Lyanna's attempts to hold me back. What the hell are you doing, Thorn? Ah, Luna Mara. Right on cue. Thorn smiled. I'm taking what should have been mine from the beginning. This kingdom. This throne. And the power sleeping in your pretty golden wolf. Guards tried to stop me. I shoved past them, my wolf surging forward with fury. You're behind everything, I said. Pieces clicking into place with horrible clarity. The assassination attempts. The challenge. All of it. Not quite all. Another figure emerged from the crowd. Cain Ashford, dressed in silver moon colors, his expression twisted with bitterness. But I certainly helped. My breath caught. Cain. Did you really think I'd let you become queen? He moved closer, and I saw the rage burning in his eyes. After you humiliated me? Made me reject you, then reappeared as a golden wolf, the most valuable mate in existence? Everything I threw away, now claimed by the most powerful alpha alive? So this is about your wounded pride? This is about justice. He was shouting now. You were supposed to stay broken. Stay gone. Instead, you're here, playing Luna, while I'm stuck with me? Celeste emerged from another section, her pregnant belly prominent, her face a mask of fury. Say it, Cain. Stuck with your pregnant wife who gave up everything to be with you. Celeste, Cain started. Shut up. She moved past him, focusing on me. Hello, sister. Enjoying your throne? I stared at her. At Cain. At Elder Thorn's smug face. You're all working together, I said slowly. A coup. Finally catching up. Thorn gestured, and more armored wolves appeared. At least 50, surrounding the arena. I've been building this for years. Ever since that fool king married a weak Luna who got herself killed on a diplomatic mission. You had Lyanna murdered, I breathed. I had her removed, Thorn corrected. She was making Darius too strong. Too stable. I needed him vulnerable. Grieving. Easy to manipulate. He smiled. The contract Luna arrangement played right into my hands. A broken rogue with a hidden golden wolf. Perfect bait to draw out rival alphas, create chaos, and ultimately, harvest your power for myself. Harvest? Darius's voice was weak, barely human. He'd shifted back, lying in the dirt, wolfsbane spreading through his system like fire. You can't extract a golden wolf's power. Oh, but I can. Thorn nodded to the crowd. With the right incentive. A hooded figure stepped forward. Female, I thought. Small and hunched. When she pulled back her hood, I saw an ancient face. Lined and weathered, with eyes that held something wrong. Something dark. Blood which, Lyanna hissed from somewhere behind me. Goddess help us. Meet Grandmother Ash, Thorn said pleasantly. She specializes in extracting wolf essence. Usually kills the subject, but that's a small price for godlike power, don't you think? Horror flooded through me. You're insane. I'm ambitious. There's a difference. He gestured, and his wolves moved toward Darius. Now, you have two choices, Luna Mara. Come quietly and let Grandmother Ash begin her preparations, or watch me execute your contracted mate right here. Don't, Darius gasped. Blood leaked from his mouth. Don't give him anything. But Kale was still standing there, looking between Thorn and Darius with growing rage. You used me, he said quietly. Dangerously. Brought me here under false challenge just to be part of your coup. I brought you here to weaken Darius, Thorn corrected. Which you did beautifully. Now step aside. Kale's roar shook the arena. I'm Alpha of the Northern Territories. I don't step aside for scheming politicians. He shifted mid-lunge, going for Thorn's throat. 3 arrows struck him mid-air. Kale crashed to the ground, twitching, more wolfsbane spreading through his massive frame. Anyone else want to be heroic? Thorn asked the crowd. No one moved. Fear held them frozen. Fear of the arrows, the armed wolves, the blood witch's dark presence. Except me. My wolf was done hiding. Done running. Done letting people use me. Shift, she demanded. Now. If you want my power, I said quietly, feeling the change begin, you'll have to take it. Golden light exploded from my skin. I shifted faster than I ever had before, bones flowing like water, for emerging in waves of brilliant gold. My wolf was larger than before, stronger, humming with power I'd kept locked away for 5 years. Thorn's eyes widened. Subdue her. Too late. I leaped, clearing 30 feet in a single bound, landing between Darius and Thorn's approaching wolves. Power crackled along my fur, that strange ability I'd been learning to control with Lyanna. The Luna's judgment. I reached out with it, feeling for the wolves threatening us. Found their essences, bright flames of wolf spirit. And dimmed them. All 20 wolves collapsed, suddenly human, their wolves stripped away by my power. Temporary, I knew. But enough. The crowd gasped. Screamed. Some ran. Others just stared. Impossible, Thorn breathed. You shouldn't be able to. I turned to face him, and he stumbled back. The Luna's judgment, I said, my wolf's voice echoing strangely. You wanted my power, Elder Thorn? Here it is. I reached for his wolf. He screamed as I grasped his essence, not stripping it, just holding it. Squeezing. Showing him exactly what I could do if I wanted. Mara, stop. Kane's voice. I turned my massive golden head to face him. He stood with Celeste now, one arm around her. But he wasn't running. Wasn't attacking. Just watching me with something like awe. This is what you rejected, I told him. This power. This wolf. Me. And you'll never get it back. I know. His voice cracked. I know, and I. Celeste pulled him back. We need to go. Now. They ran. Other conspirators scattered. Including the Blood Witch, who vanished into the crowd like smoke. But Thorn wasn't fast enough. Darius, somehow, had found the strength to shift again. His massive black wolf rose on shaking legs, poison still coursing through him, and lunged. His jaws closed around Thorn's throat. The Elder's scream cut off with a wet crunch. When Darius released him, Thorn crumpled, dead before he hit the ground. The arena went silent. Darius shifted back, collapsed beside Thorn's body. I rushed to him, shifting mid-run, catching him before he fell completely. Poison, he gasped. Need, healer. Someone get a healer. Lyanna was suddenly there, barking orders. Now. The king is down. Wolves scrambled. Guards surrounded us, creating a protective barrier. Healers rushed forward with herbs and potions. But Darius was fading fast. I could see it in his eyes, the light dimming, the poison winning. No, I whispered. No, you don't get to die. Not after everything. Mara. He tried to smile. You were magnificent. Shut up and conserve your strength. Need to tell you. His hand found mine. The bond. I feel it, second chance. My breath caught. The bond. I'd been feeling it too, that pull toward him, that rightness. I'd told myself it was just proximity, stress, shared danger. But it wasn't. You're my second chance, mate, I breathed. Yes. His eyes brightened briefly. Felt it, during the dance, knew. Then you know what that means. I pressed my hand to his chest, feeling his heartbeat, too slow, too weak. True mates can share strength. Healing. Life force. Mara, no. Shut up. Just this once, let me save you. I closed my eyes. Reached for that golden power inside me, not the Luna's judgment, but something deeper. Something that had awakened the moment Darius admitted he cared. The mate bond. It was there, faint but present. Waiting to be completed. This might hurt, I warned. Then I bit him. My teeth sank into the junction of his neck and shoulder, the traditional marking spot. Blood filled my mouth, hot and copper. But beneath it, I felt power surge. My golden wolf's essence flowing into him through the bond. Healing. Strengthening. Burning away the poison like sunlight through shadow. Darius's whole body convulsed. His hand clenched in my hair. Then, suddenly, he was moving, grabbing me, flipping us so I was beneath him, his teeth finding my own neck. The mark he gave me was claiming. Possessive. Final. The bomb snapped into place with explosive intensity. I felt everything, his pain, his determination, his fierce protectiveness. His love. God, his love, hidden beneath layers of duty and guilt and fear of losing someone again. He felt mine too. My terror, my strength, my carefully guarded hope that maybe, just maybe, I deserve to be loved. When we finally pulled apart, both bleeding, both gasping, the arena was still silent. Darius's eyes were clear now. The poison gone. His wounds already healing. You saved me, he whispered. You saved me first. I touched his face. In that throne room. When you could have let them execute me. I couldn't. He pressed his forehead to mine. From the moment you shifted, I felt it, the bond trying to form. My wolf recognized you. Wanted you. I just needed time to accept it. And now? Now I'm done pretending this is just politics. He kissed me, hard and claiming and absolutely real. You're my true mate, Mara. My second chance. My Luna in every way that matters. Cheers erupted around us. The crowd, finally processing what they'd witnessed, roared approval. But I barely heard them. I was too focused on Darius, on the bond humming between us, on the rightness of his arms around me. We still have problems, I murmured against his lips. Thorn's dead, but Celeste and Cain escaped. And that blood witch. I know. His expression hardened. And there's worse. Grandmother Ash won't give up. She'll try to complete her ritual with or without Thorn's backing. When? The next full moon. His jaw tightened. 3 days from now. That's when Blood Witch rituals are strongest. 3 days. We had 3 days to find Celeste, Cain, and a Blood Witch who could rip my wolf from my body and kill me in the process. Then we hunt them, I said. Together. Together, Darius agreed. He stood, pulling me up with him, and addressed the crowd. Elder Thorn has been executed for treason and conspiracy against the crown. Any who supported him will be found and face justice. As for Kale Nightshade. We both looked at the Northern Alpha. He was still conscious, barely, the wolfsbane keeping him weak. You were used, Darius said. Manipulated into a false challenge. For that, I offer clemency, if you swear fealty and return to your territory. Kale's golden eyes met his. You, spare me? I spare you because you're not the real enemy. Darius helped me up onto the platform. The real enemies are the ones who tried to destroy us both. Who murdered my first mate. Who tortured Mara for years. They're still out there. Still planning. He turned to face the crowd, and his voice carried across the grounds. This is my true mate, he announced, holding my marked neck for all to see. Luna Mara Blackthorn. Not by contract. Not by politics. By fate. By choice. By the bond the moon goddess herself has blessed. More cheers. Louder now. And anyone who threatens her threatens me. Threatens this kingdom. Threatens every pack under my protection. His eyes blazed silver. So I make you all this promise, we will find those who conspired against us. We will stop their blood ritual. And we will end this threat permanently. The crowd roared approval. But I was watching the edges, the shadows where Celeste and Cain had vanished. Where the blood witch had disappeared. 3 days until the full moon. 3 days to stop a ritual that would kill me and give godlike power to our enemies. 3 days with my true mate by my side, the Alpha King who'd marked me, claimed me, chosen me despite everything. Scared? Darius murmured in my ear. Terrified, I admitted. Good. He kissed my temple. So am I. But we'll face it together. Together, I agreed. And somewhere in the distance, a wolf howled, low and mournful and full of dark promise. The blood moon was coming. And so was our final battle. Chapter 6. The mate bond was overwhelming. I'd read about it, of course, every young wolf grew up hearing stories of true mates and the connection they shared. But reading about something and experiencing it were entirely different things. I could feel Darius everywhere. His determination as he coordinated the strike team. His rage when reports came in about Thorn's forces regrouping. His bone-deep fear for my safety that he tried to hide beneath alpha composure but couldn't quite mask through our connection. Stop worrying, I told him for the 5th time in an hour. We were in the war room, maps spread across the table, tracking possible locations where Thorn might have fled. I can feel you worrying. It's distracting. I'll stop worrying when you're safe. He didn't look up from the map. Which won't be until Morgana is dealt with and this blood ritual threat is eliminated. Then you'll be worrying forever, because I'm never completely safe. I moved around the table to stand beside him. I'm a golden wolf, remember? Target on my back comes standard. His jaw tightened. Not funny. Wasn't trying to be. He finally looked at me, and the intensity in his silver eyes made my breath catch. Even after everything, the battle, the marking, the bond. I wasn't used to being looked at like that. Like I was precious. Essential. Worth protecting at any cost. I've already lost one mate, he said quietly. I won't lose another. You won't. I took his hand, felt his pulse jump beneath my fingers. We're in this together, remember? No one's dying today. Mara. Your Majesty. A guard burst in, breathing hard. We found something. The tracking team followed magical residue to an old temple 15 miles north. Heavy wards. Dark magic. They're requesting permission to engage. Darius and I exchanged glances. Tell them to hold position, he ordered. We're coming. The temple was older than the fighting grounds, ancient stone covered in moss and shadow, tucked deep in forest that felt wrong. The trees here grew twisted, their branches reaching like clawed hands. Even the air tasted bitter. Our strike team consisted of 20 wolves. Elite fighters from Darius's personal guard, plus Lyanna, who'd insisted on coming despite still healing from minor wounds. We moved in formation, silent and deadly, surrounding the temple. Heavy wards, one of the scouts reported. Blood magic. Old and strong. Can you break them? Darius asked. Not without alerting everyone inside. Then we go in loud. Darius shifted his weight, preparing to charge. On my mark. Wait. A voice called from the tree line. Familiar. Wrong. Wait, please. I need to talk to Mara. Cain Ashford stepped into view, hands raised, no weapons visible. He looked terrible, clothes torn, face haggard, eyes red-rimmed like he'd been crying. Every wolf in our team tensed. Darius moved in front of me automatically, a low growl building in his chest. Easy, Cain said quickly. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to help. Help? I pushed past Darius despite his protest. You conspired with Thorn. Tried to have us killed. Why the hell would we trust you? Because Celeste is in there. His voice cracked. And she's in danger. Real danger. He stopped. Swallowed hard. I need your help, Mara. Please. I studied him, this man who'd been my first love, my first heartbreak. Who'd rejected me when I needed him most. Who'd conspired against me for revenge. And I saw something new in his face. Something that looked like genuine fear. Explain, I said. Fast. Thorn lied to us. To both of us. Cain's words tumbled out in a rush. He told Celeste he just wanted political leverage. Told me he'd help me get revenge for my humiliation. But he never cared about any of that. He just needed conspirators. Pawns. And you're just realizing this now? I realized it when he took Celeste hostage. Cain's hands clenched. She went into his tent to demand payment for her help. He had the blood witch there, Morgana. She did something to Celeste. Cast some kind of spell. Now Thorn says if I don't cooperate, he'll use Celeste in the ritual instead of you. My blood ran cold. Use her how? As a sacrifice. A pregnant wolf carrying beta blood, apparently that's almost as valuable as a golden wolf for dark rituals. His eyes met mine. I know I don't deserve your help. I know what I did. But Celeste is pregnant with my child, Mara. Whatever she's done, whatever I've done, the baby is innocent. I felt Darius's concern through our bond. His suspicion. His protective fury. This could be a trap, he said quietly. Another manipulation. I know. I kept my eyes on Cain. But what if it's not? Can we risk an innocent life? Darius was silent for a long moment. Then, what information do you have? Relief flooded Cain's face. Everything. Thorn's plans, Morgana's weakness, the ritual location, all of it. Then talk, Darius commanded. And this better not be a trap, Ashford. Because if it is, I'll let my mate decide your punishment. And trust me, you don't want that. The possessive edge in his voice sent warmth through our bond. Cain noticed it too, saw the mark on my neck, the way Darius stood close enough to touch me. Understanding and regret flickered across his features. The Blood Witch's name is Morgana Ashwood, he began. She's been working for Thorn for years, not by choice. He's blackmailing her. With what? Lyanna demanded. Her daughter. A little girl, maybe 5 years old. Thorn has her locked up somewhere. Says if Morgana doesn't cooperate, the child dies. Sympathy tugged at my chest. A mother forced to do terrible things to protect her child. I understood that desperation. Where's the ritual happening? Darius asked. Cain hesitated. Silver Moon territory. The old pack lands. My breath caught. Silver Moon, my birth pack. The place I'd grown up, trained, fallen in love for the first time. The place that had tried to sacrifice me. Silver Moon is abandoned, I said. Has been for 3 years. Some kind of plague. Morgana caused the plague, Cain interrupted. On Thorn's orders. Killed most of the pack, drove the rest away. He wanted the land empty for this ritual. He looked at me. The symbolism matters in blood magic. Destroying the golden wolf where she was born, on land already soaked in death, it amplifies the power transfer. Son of a bitch, Lyanna breathed. They're setting up now, Cain continued. Planning to complete the ritual tomorrow night. Full moon. Morgana's already started preparations, raising protective wards, drawing ritual circles. Thorn has maybe 30 wolves loyal to him, plus whatever dark magic Morgana can provide. And Celeste? I asked quietly. Being held in the old Alpha's den. She's not good, Mara. The stress triggered early labor. She's only 6 months along. If she gives birth now. He didn't finish. Didn't need to. A 6-month premature baby in the middle of dark ritual preparations, with only a blackmailed blood which for medical care, the odds weren't good. We're going in, I decided. Tonight. Before they can finish preparations. Mara, Darius started. She's my sister. I met his eyes. Whatever she's done, I can't let her die. Can't let that baby die. You understand that, right? Through our bond, I felt his conflict. His alpha instinct screaming to protect me at all costs, his understanding that this was the right thing to do, his fear that mercy would get us killed. Finally, he nodded. We go in together. Carefully. At the first sign of trap. We fight our way out, I finished. Together. His hand found mine. Squeezed once. Always together. Silver Moon territory looked like something from a nightmare. Dead trees stretched skeletal branches toward a gray sky. The pack houses stood empty, windows dark, doors hanging off hinges. The plague had left everything intact but lifeless, a ghost town filled with memories. I'd played in these streets as a child. Trained in that yard. Kissed Cain for the first time behind that building. Now it was just ruins and death. This way, Cain whispered. He led us through shadows, avoiding the main paths. Morgana's wards are concentrated around the old ceremonial grounds. If we come in from the eastern approach, we might slip past detection. We moved silently, 20 elite fighters plus Cain, flowing through dead streets like smoke. I could feel Darius's tension through our bond, his hyper-awareness of every shadow, every potential threat. The old Alpha's den came into view. Larger than the other buildings, it had been impressive once, stone and timber, built to last generations. Now it looked diseased, dark magic crawling across its walls like infection. Celeste is in the basement, Cain breathed. 2 guards, both witchfire enhanced. Morgana's in the ceremonial grounds with Thorn, preparing. Split up, Darius decided. Lyanna, take 10 wolves and secure Celeste. Mara and I will handle Morgana and Thorn. Cain. I'm going with Lyanna, Cain said. To get Celeste. Darius studied him. If this is a trap. It's not. I swear on my wolf, on my unborn child, this isn't a trap. Cain's voice shook. I just want to save her. That's all. A long silence. Then Darius nodded once. We split up. The ceremonial grounds were exactly as I remembered, a circular clearing ringed by standing stones, with a raised platform at the center. This was where pack gatherings happened, where alphas were crowned, where mates were officially recognized. Where elders had tried to sacrifice me 5 years ago. Now the stones were covered in dark runes that seemed to writhe in the moonlight. The platform held ritual circles drawn in blood, candles burning with green flame, symbols I didn't recognize but instinctively hated. And in the center, directing 2 wolves carrying supplies, stood a woman who could only be Morgana. She was younger than I'd expected, maybe 40, with silver-streaked black hair and eyes that held too much sadness. She wore dark robes covered in mystical symbols, and power radiated from her like heat. Carefully, she instructed. The northern circle needs wolfsbane and iron shavings. And someone find Thorn, I need his blood for the final binding. Her voice sounded tired. Defeated. Darius and I stepped into the clearing. Our wolves flanked us, weapons ready. Morgana's head snapped up. For a moment, she just stared. Then she smiled, sad and knowing. The golden wolf, she said softly. Of course you'd come. Mercy and strength, that's what the legends say about your kind. Where's Thorn? Darius demanded. Not here. He's checking the perimeter wards. She waved her hand, and her helper wolves melted into shadows, literally vanishing like they'd never existed. Illusions. I'm alone. Have been for hours. Lying won't help you, I said. I'm not lying. She moved closer, and I saw exhaustion in every line of her face. I'm tired, Golden Wolf. So tired of this. Of him. Of death magic and dark rituals and sacrificing everything for. She stopped. Swallowed hard. For what? I asked gently. For my daughter. Tears spilled down her cheeks. He has my Lily. My baby girl. 5 years old, and she's never known anything but cages and threats. And her voice broke. I've done terrible things to keep her alive. Killed wolves. Cursed innocents. Raised plagues that destroyed entire packs. Including Darius's first mate, I said quietly. Morgana flinched. Yes. Lyanna Blackthorn. She was kind to me once, at a diplomatic gathering. Talked to me like I was a person instead of a tool. And I repaid that kindness by killing her. She looked at Darius. I'm sorry. It's insufficient, but it's all I have. I'm sorry. Darius's rage burned through our bond. His wolf wanted blood, wanted justice for his murdered mate. But beneath that, I felt something else. Understanding. Because he knew, if someone threatened me, there was nothing he wouldn't do to keep me safe. Where's your daughter? I asked. Hidden. Warded. Somewhere even I can't reach without Thorn's permission. Morgana's hands clenched. He checks on her daily. Reminds me what happens if I disobey. Shows me pictures of her crying, asking for her mother. My heart ached. That's monstrous. That's Thorn. She laughed bitterly. And tomorrow night, I'm supposed to sacrifice you or Celeste, whichever is easier to capture, and transfer your power to him. Make him unkillable. A god among wolves. And after? After, he won't need me anymore. He'll kill Lily to eliminate loose ends. Then probably kill me too. She met my eyes. So you see, Golden Wolf, I have nothing to lose. And everything to gain if I help you stop him. Why would you help us? Darius demanded. Because legends say golden wolves have mercy. That they can judge hearts and find them worthy or wanting. Morgana's gaze locked on mine. So judge me, Luna Mara. Am I evil? Or am I just a desperate mother who made terrible choices? I reached out with my wolf, with that strange power that let me see essences. Touched Morgana's spirit carefully. And saw the truth. She was broken. Corrupted by dark magic and desperate acts. But beneath that, her heart still beat with love for her child. With regret for her actions. With desperate, aching hope that maybe, somehow, there was still a path to redemption. "You're not evil," I said softly. "You're a victim. Like I was. Like so many of us are. Then help me." She fell to her knees. "Please. Help me save my daughter, and I'll do anything. Break Thorn's wards. Reverse his rituals. Fight by your side. Anything." Darius's concern flooded our bond. This could still be manipulation, his thoughts whispered to mine. "I know," I sent back. "But what if it's not? What if we can save them both, Morgana's daughter and Celeste's baby?" Always trying to save everyone, he thought, and I felt his love warm beneath the worry. "That's going to get you killed one day." "Not today," I promised. "All right," I said to Morgana. "We help each other. You tell us where Thorn is keeping your daughter, we rescue her. In exchange, you help us stop the ritual and protect Celeste." "And when this is over?" Morgana asked. "Will you execute me for my crimes?" I looked at Darius. He was Alpha King, ultimate authority on justice and punishment. "That depends," he said slowly, "on whether you truly help us. Whether your remorse is genuine. Whether..." An explosion rocked the ceremonial grounds. From the direction of the Alpha's den, screams erupted. Fighting. The sound of claws and teeth and violence. "Lyanna," I gasped. We ran. The Alpha's den was chaos. Shadow creatures, twisted things that looked like wolves but wrong, corrupted, poured from every entrance. They moved with jerky, unnatural movements, their eyes glowing sickly green. Lyanna fought in the center, surrounded, her sword flashing as she tried to protect something behind her. Cain. Holding Celeste, who was barely conscious, clearly in labor. It was a trap. Lyanna screamed. The wards triggered when we entered the basement. Darius shifted mid-run, his massive black wolf tearing into the shadow creatures. They dissolved at his touch but kept coming, dozens, maybe hundreds, spawned from dark magic and death. I shifted too, my golden wolf blazing with light. The shadow creatures recoiled from my presence, giving our team precious seconds to regroup. Morgana appeared beside me, power crackling from her hands. Thorn must have set a secondary trap. These are plague victims, wolves who died here, raised as guardians. "Can you stop them?" "Not without breaking the ward anchors." There, she pointed to 3 standing stones around the clearing, each glowing with dark runes. "Destroy those, the creatures disperse." "Darius." I sent through our bond. "The stones, we need to destroy them." Understanding flooded back. He howled, and half our team peeled off to attack the stones. But the shadow creatures defended them viciously. Every time a wolf got close, 3 more creatures would swarm. "I'll handle them." Lyanna was already moving, her sword raised. "Just protect Celeste." "Lyanna, wait." Too late. She charged the nearest stone, blade flashing. A shadow creature lunged from her blind spot. Caught her across the ribs. She screamed, stumbled. And kept fighting. Blood poured from the wound, but she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Because if those stones stood, we'd all die here. She reached the first stone. Brought her sword down with all her strength. The rune shattered. The stone cracked. A wave of dark energy exploded outward, and a third of the shadow creatures dissolved. But the backlash threw Lyanna backward. She hit the ground hard, her sword clattering away, blood spreading beneath her. "No." I shifted back to human, ran to her side. "Lyanna, stay with me." "The stones," she gasped. Blood bubbled at her lips. "Finish the stones." Darius destroyed the second one, his massive wolf form smashing through shadow creatures and stone alike. The clearing shook. More creatures dissolved. But the third stone stood protected by a wall of writhing shadows. And from the forest, Thorn emerged. He looked different. Wrong. His eyes glowed with unnatural power, his body radiating alpha dominance that felt stolen, corrupted. In his hand, he held a vial, empty now, whatever potion it contained already consumed. "Morgana, you traitorous bitch," he snarled. "I knew you'd break eventually." "My daughter," she started, "is already dead." He smiled. "Killed her this morning. Didn't need the leverage anymore." Morgana's scream was inhuman. Power exploded from her, raw, wild, devastating. The third stone shattered under her grief-fueled rage. The shadow creatures dissolved like smoke. But Thorn was already moving. He shifted, not into a normal wolf, but something larger, darker, twisted by whatever potion he'd drunk. An alpha form, but wrong. Too big. Too powerful. Unnatural. He went straight for Darius. They collided with earth-shaking force. Darius was skilled, experienced, deadly. But Thorn had stolen alpha power, dozens of alphas worth, from the feel of it, compressed into one corrupted form. The fight was brutal. Vicious. Darius landed devastating hits, but Thorn kept coming, kept healing, kept pressing. Through our bond, I felt Darius's realization. He couldn't win this. Not fairly. Not without help. "Run," his thought crashed into mine. Desperate. Commanding. "If I fall, run. Live." "That's an order from your alpha." Fury flooded through me. Through us. "You're not my alpha," I sent back, already shifting. "You're my mate. And I don't run anymore." My golden wolf blazed to life. I leaped into the fight, landing beside Darius, our wolves moving in perfect synchronization. Because we were mates. True mates. Bonded. And together, we were unstoppable. I used my Luna's judgment, reaching for Thorn's stolen power. It fought me, corrupted, twisted, angry, but I held on. Squeezed. Started draining it away. Thorn howled in rage. Tried to shake me off. But Darius was there, teeth in Thorn's throat, holding him still while I worked. "Now, Morgana." I screamed. "Whatever spell is keeping him enhanced, break it." She was already chanting, tears streaming down her face, pouring her grief and rage into magic. Dark energy swirled around Thorn, fighting his stolen power, unraveling the potion's effects. Slowly, so slowly, Thorn began to shrink. To weaken. And then Celeste screamed. Not in fear. In pain. In labor. "The baby's coming." Cain shouted. "Someone help. I've got her." Morgana broke from her spell, rushed to Celeste's side. "Keep Thorn contained. I'll handle this." She knelt beside my sister, hands glowing with gentler magic now. Healing magic. Life magic. "You're early," she murmured to Celeste. "But we'll manage. Just breathe. Focus on me." In the center of the clearing, Thorn finally collapsed. His wolf form dissolved, leaving him human, naked, powerless. Darius shifted back, standing over him. "It's over, Thorn." "Is it?" Thorn laughed, broken and bitter. "You think killing me stops anything? There are others. Other elders who wanted golden wolf power. Other witches who'll try. You've won the battle, Blackthorn. But the war." Darius's claws extended. "The war ends now. One strike. Clean. Final." Thorn died with that bitter laugh still on his lips. Silence fell over the clearing. Then, cutting through it like dawn, a baby's cry. "It's a girl," Morgana announced, her voice thick with emotion. "Small, but healthy. She'll need care, but she'll survive." Celeste sobbed, relief and exhaustion and something that might have been regret. Cain held them both, tears streaming down his face, whispering promises I couldn't hear. I stumbled to Lyanna. She was still conscious, barely, bleeding out despite our healer's best efforts. Did we win? She whispered. We won. I took her hand. Just hold on. We'll get you back to the palace. Mara. Her grip tightened. Tell my brother, tell him I'm proud. Of both of you. You're good for him. Tell him yourself. But I could feel it through our bond, Darius's grief already building, his wolf howling in denial. Lyanna, please. Take care of him, she breathed. Take care of each other. Anne. She smiled. Closed her eyes. And was gone. Darius's howl shook the forest. Raw. Broken. Devastating. I shifted back, caught him as he collapsed, held him while he grieved. For his sister. For his first mate. For everyone we'd lost to get here. But we'd won. Thorn was dead. The ritual was stopped. Celeste and her baby would live. And Morgana knelt beside Lyanna's body, weeping for someone who'd shown her kindness once. For the chance at redemption she'd almost found too late. The blood moon rose over Silver Moon territory, painting everything red. But for the first time in years, I felt something that wasn't fear or grief or rage. I felt hope. Chapter 7. The world narrowed to blood and pain and the sound of my sister dying. Celeste lay in the dirt of our childhood territory, Morgana's hands glowing over her swollen belly, magic fighting against magic, life against death. The baby was coming too soon, twisted by dark rituals and stress, fighting its way into a world that had tried to destroy it. Push, Morgana commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos around us. Despite the sounds of Darius and Thorn still locked in brutal combat 50 feet away. Celeste, you need to push. I can't. Celeste's face was gray, slick with sweat. Blood pooled beneath her, too much blood. I can't, I'm sorry, I can't. Yes, you can. I gripped her hand, not caring that this woman had betrayed me, tried to have me killed, poisoned my life for years. Right now, she was just my sister. Scared. Dying. Needing help. You're stronger than this. Fight. Her blue eyes, so like our mother's, found mine. Mara. I'm sorry. For everything. I was so jealous, so angry that you were special and I was just, ordinary. You're not ordinary, I told her. You're my sister. I wanted to be like you. Tears mixed with sweat. Golden. Important. Chosen. And when you disappeared, when everyone thought you were dead or broken, I finally got to be someone. Cain's mate. Beta female. Special. She sobbed. But it wasn't real. None of it was real. And now. Now you're having a baby, Morgana interrupted. And that baby needs you to be strong. So push, damn it. Celeste pushed. The world exploded with light and sound and a baby's cry, thin and reedy but alive. So beautifully alive. It's a girl, Morgana announced, her voice thick with emotion. She worked quickly, cutting the cord, cleaning the tiny body with practiced hands. Premature but breathing. She'll need constant care, but she's a fighter. Like her mother, I thought. Like our whole cursed bloodline. Morgana wrapped the baby in her own cloak, dark fabric immediately stained with birth and blood, and placed her in Celeste's arms. My sister looked down at her daughter and started crying. She's perfect. Oh God, she's so perfect. She is, I agreed, my own tears falling. What will you name her? I don't know if I'll, Celeste's breath hitched. More blood pooled beneath her. Mara, I'm not going to make it. Don't say that. It's magical backlash. Morgana's face was grim. The dark magic Thorn used on her is eating her from inside. I can slow it, but I can't stop it. Then transfer it to me, I said immediately. Take it out of her and put it in me. I'm a golden wolf, I can handle it. No. Celeste's grip on my hand tightened. No, you can't. It would kill you too, just slower. And the world needs a golden wolf more than it needs me. Celeste. Promise me something. She looked down at her daughter, ran a shaking finger across that tiny perfect face. Promise me you'll protect her. Raise her if Cain can't. Tell her. She swallowed hard. Tell her I wasn't always a monster. That I loved her. That I tried to be better at the end. My chest ached. I promise. And Mara? Her eyes met mine. Thank you. For forgiving me. For being the better person. I should have been happy for you, proud of you. Instead, I let jealousy turn me into something horrible. But you, she smiled through tears. You were always the golden one. Even before your wolf showed. I see that now. You were golden too, I whispered. Just in different ways. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Sorry we wasted so much time hating each other. Me too. Her breathing was growing shallower. Take care of my baby. And take care of yourself. Be the queen you were meant to be. Her eyes fluttered closed. The baby whimpered, nestled against her mother's chest. And Celeste, my sister, my enemy, my family, died with a smile on her face. Darius's roar of pain snapped me back to the present. I looked up. The fight had moved closer, and it was clear Darius was losing. Thorn's stolen power made him impossibly strong. He fought with the strength of dozens of alphas compressed into one corrupted form. Darius was bleeding from multiple wounds, his movements slowing, his wolf flagging. And Thorn was grinning. You always were too noble, Blackthorn, he snarled, landing another devastating hit. Too concerned with honor and justice. That's why you'll lose. Why you'll die. Just like your precious Lyanna died. Rage flooded through me, mine and Darius's, twin flames through our bond. I'm coming, I sent to him. Hold on. No, he responded, strained and desperate. Stay with the baby. Stay safe. That's an order. Stop ordering me around. I handed the baby to Cain, who'd been hovering nearby, useless and shattered. Protect her. No matter what happens, protect your daughter. Mara. I was already shifting. Already running toward the fight. My golden wolf blazed across the clearing, drawing every eye. I crashed into Thorn from the side, giving Darius precious seconds to recover. But Thorn was ready. He threw me off easily, his stolen power overwhelming. The golden wolf herself, he laughed. Perfect. Kill two birds with one stone. He lunged for me. I dodged, but barely. He was so fast, so strong. Darius intercepted, taking the hit meant for me. I felt his pain through our bond, sharp and terrible. Together, I thought desperately. We have to fight together. I can't match his power, Darius sent back. He's too strong. Mara, you need to run. I'm not running. We fought as one, my speed and his strength, my golden light and his shadow, moving in perfect synchronization through our mate bond. But it wasn't enough. Thorn had the power of too many alphas, stolen and compressed and corrupted into something unstoppable. He caught Darius by the throat. Lifted him. Slammed him into the ground so hard the earth cracked. Darius. Through our bond, I felt him fading. Felt his wolf crying out in pain and defiance and desperate love. I'm sorry, his thoughts whispered to mine. I couldn't protect you. Couldn't save you. Just like Lyanna. I failed. You didn't fail. But Thorn was raising his claws for the killing blow. Darius was too weak to move. Too hurt to fight back. And I realized, with terrible clarity, what I had to do. The legend said a golden wolf at full power could command all wolves. Force submission even against their will. Strip power, transfer it, control it completely. I'd touched that ability with the Luna's judgment. But I'd never gone deeper. Never fully unleashed what my wolf could really do. Because the cost was enormous. Using that much power could burn out my wolf permanently. Leave me human forever. Or kill me outright. But Darius was dying. And I'd promised we'd face everything together. I love you, I sent through our bond. Remember that. No matter what happens. Mara, what are you? I let go. Let my wolf surge forward with everything she'd been holding back for 5 years. All the power I'd locked away when the elders tried to sacrifice me. All the strength I'd suppressed to stay hidden, safe, small. I let it all free. Golden light exploded from my body, not the soft glow of a normal shift, but something else. Something primordial. Pure. Devastating. My wolf grew larger. Brighter. Power crackled along my fur like lightning, and when I opened my eyes, the world looked different. I could see the essence of every wolf present, bright flames of spirit and power. And I could touch them. Control them. Command them. Including Thorn. I reached out with my power, found his stolen wolf. A writhing mass of corrupted alpha essence, and grabbed hold. Thorn screamed. What are you doing? What? Separating what shouldn't be joined, my wolf's voice echoed across the clearing, sounding ancient and terrible and absolute. You stole this power. I'm taking it back. I pulled. The stolen wolf essence fought me. Decades of accumulated power, ripped from dying alphas, compressed through dark rituals, it didn't want to leave. Had been forced into Thorn so completely that removing it should have been impossible. But I was a golden wolf at full power. And impossible was just a word. I pulled harder. Felt the essence tearing away from Thorn, felt him fighting and screaming and begging. And I ripped it free. The stolen power exploded outward, dissipating into the night like smoke. Gone. Returned to whatever cosmic source wolf spirits came from. Thorn collapsed, suddenly human. Powerless. Mortal. And I collapsed too. The cost hit me all at once. Using that much power, commanding with that much force, my wolf couldn't sustain it. I felt her burning out, fading, dying inside me. No, I thought desperately. No, please, not now. But the golden light was dimming. My fur was fading from brilliant gold to dull bronze to gray. I shifted back to human without meaning to, my wolf too weak to hold the form. Strong arms caught me before I hit the ground. Mara. Darius's face swam above me, beautiful and terrified. Mara, stay with me. Did we win? My voice sounded distant. Wrong. Yes, we won. But you, his hands were shaking. Your wolf. I can feel her through the bond. She's fading. Mara, you're fading. I'm sorry. My eyes were so heavy. I had to. You were dying. So you saved me by killing yourself? Rage and grief warred in his expression. That's not how this works. We're supposed to protect each other. We did. I touched his face. You would have done the same for me. Don't. Tears streaked through the blood on his face. Don't you dare leave me. I just found you. His voice broke. Don't you dare, Mara. That's an order from your mate. I tried to smile. Can't order me around. Remember? Then I'm begging. He pressed his forehead to mine. Please. Please stay. I can't lose another mate. Can't survive it again. Please. I wanted to promise I'd stay. Wanted to fight. But my wolf was silent now, not buried like before, but gone. Extinguished by the power I'd used. And without my wolf, I was just human. Fragile. Mortal. Dying. Darius. There might be a way. Morgana's voice. She knelt beside us, her face gray with exhaustion but her eyes sharp with desperate hope. A golden wolf can be restored, she said quickly. But only through willing sacrifice. Another wolf must give up their essence, not die, but permanently surrender the ability to shift. Become human forever. The transfer is tricky, dangerous, but possible. Then do it. Darius didn't hesitate. Take my wolf. Give it to her. No. I tried to sit up, failed. You can't, you're Alpha King. I need you alive more than I need to shift. His silver eyes blazed. Take my wolf, Morgana. Now. Wait. Another voice. Cain, standing at the edge of the clearing, still holding his newborn daughter. His face was ravaged, by grief for Celeste, guilt for everything he'd done, understanding of what he'd destroyed 5 years ago. Take mine instead. Everyone stared. Cain, Darius started. It should be me. Cain moved closer, each step deliberate. I'm the one who rejected her. Who made her hide her wolf in the first place? Who conspired against her out of wounded pride? He looked at me. I destroyed your life 5 years ago, Mara. This is the least I owe you. You have a daughter now, I whispered. You can't. I can raise her human. Teach her honor, sacrifice, redemption, things I should have learned earlier. He smiled sadly. Besides, I was never that good of a wolf. Too political. Too ambitious. Too focused on rank instead of what mattered. His eyes shone. But maybe as a human, I can finally be the man Celeste deserved. The father my daughter needs. Cain. Please. He knelt beside me. Let me do this one good thing. Let me save you the way I should have 5 years ago. I looked at Darius. Felt his conflict through our bond. His alpha instinct screaming that he should be the sacrifice, his understanding that Cain needed this, his desperate fear that neither option would work and I'd die anyway. It's my choice, I said quietly. And I choose. I choose to let Cain do this. If he's truly willing. I am. Cain's voice was steady. Final. I've never been more certain of anything. Morgana nodded grimly. Then we begin. But know this, the process is painful, and there's no guarantee. Golden wolf essence is volatile. Unstable. It might reject the transfer. Might burn out both of you. I'll risk it, Cain said. So will I whispered. Then everyone else stepped back. Morgana began drawing symbols in the dirt, different from the dark runes Thorn had used. These felt cleaner. Older. Sacred. This is ancient magic. Life magic. It requires blood, intention, and absolute will. She worked quickly, creating a circle around Cain and me. Darius had to move outside it, though his hand lingered on mine until the last possible second. I love you, he sent through our bond. Whatever happens, remember that. I love you too. Morgana began chanting in that old language that made my ears ring. Power swirled around us, not dark this time, but bright. Warm. Smelling of summer meadows and moonlight. Cain Ashford, she intoned, do you willingly surrender your wolf to save Mara Bennett? I do. His voice didn't waver. Then give me your blood. He cut his palm without hesitation. Let blood drip onto the circle. Mara Bennett, Morgana continued, do you accept this sacrifice? This gift? I do. Then give me your blood. Darius cut my palm for me, my hands were too weak. My blood mixed with Cain's on the ritual circle. Morgana's chanting grew louder. The symbols began to glow. Soft silver blue, like moonlight made solid. I felt it when Cain's wolf began to separate from him. Felt his essence lifting, flowing across the circle toward me. It should have been violent, painful. But Morgana's magic made it gentle. A gift freely given, received with gratitude. Cain's face contorted with loss, not pain, but grief. Like watching a part of himself die. And my wolf, my fading, dying golden wolf, stirred. The essence Cain gave wasn't golden. Couldn't be. He was beta-born, strong but not legendary. But his wolf's sacrifice acted like kindling on dying embers. My wolf flared back to life. Not as bright as before. Not as powerful. But alive. Present. Mine. Golden light flickered across my skin. Soft. Steady. It's working, Morgana breathed. Goddess help us, it's working. Cain collapsed as the last of his wolf left him. He lay gasping, tears streaming down his face, mourning what he'd lost, accepting what he'd chosen. And I sat up, feeling my wolf purr beneath my skin. Weaker than before, yes. But alive. Healed. Saved. Cain. I crawled to him, took his hand. Thank you. Thank you. Tell my daughter, his voice cracked. Tell her I was a wolf once. That I gave it up to save her aunt. Let that be my legacy. I will. Tears blurred my vision. I promise. Darius was suddenly there, pulling me into his arms, his face buried in my neck. I felt his relief through our bond. Overwhelming, devastating, absolute. Don't ever do that again, he whispered roughly. Don't ever make me choose between my power and your life. I won't. I held him tight. We're even now. You saved me first. I saved you back. We're even. We're never even. He pulled back just enough to look at me. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to deserve you. You already do. He kissed me, desperate and claiming and full of promises. And through our bond, I felt everything. His love. His fear. His absolute certainty that together, we could face anything. When we finally broke apart, the clearing had gone quiet. Thorn's body lay where Darius had left it, throat torn out, eyes staring at nothing. Justice delivered with brutal efficiency. The battle was over. The conspiracy ended. The blood ritual stopped. And we'd survived. What happens now? I asked quietly. Darius helped me stand. Looked around at the assembled wolves. His guards, Cain holding his daughter, Morgana covered in blood and exhaustion, Lyanna's body still cooling nearby. Now, he said, his voice carrying alpha authority, we go home. We bury our dead. We heal our wounded. And we begin rebuilding what Thorn tried to destroy. He turned to Cain. You're free to go. Take your daughter. Raise her in peace. But know this, if you ever threaten my mate again, human or not, I will end you. Cain nodded. Understood. And, thank you. For letting me make amends. Thank Mara. She's the merciful one. Darius's arm wrapped around my waist. I would have let you die. Probably true. But I was glad we hadn't gone that route. To Morgana, Darius said, you helped us. Saved Celeste's baby. Redeemed yourself in the end. For that, you're pardoned. But you'll work under my supervision. Use your magic for healing, not harm. Agreed? Agreed. She bowed her head. Thank you, Your Majesty. I won't waste this chance. See that you don't. We gathered our dead, Lyanna and Celeste and 3 guards who'd fallen in the fight. Morgana destroyed the dark ritual circles, purging the ceremonial grounds of corruption. And as dawn broke over Silver Moon territory, we began the long walk home. I rode beside Darius, exhausted but alive, my wolf humming contentedly beneath my skin. Weaker than before, yes. But mine. Saved by sacrifice and love and the impossible choice of a man who'd once destroyed me. What will you do with Cain's daughter? I asked. Raise her if Cain can't manage alone. She's innocent in all this. Deserves a chance at a good life. Darius glanced at me. Unless you prefer otherwise? No. You're right. I thought of Celeste's last words. She deserves to know her mother wasn't always a monster. That she died trying to be better. Then we'll tell her. When she's old enough. His hand found mine. We'll raise her to be strong. Kind. Nothing like her parents. Everything like her aunt, I murmured. Everything like her aunt, he agreed. We rode in comfortable silence for a while. Then, Mara? Yeah? You saved me today. Gave up your power to protect me. He paused, searching for words. That's the most alpha thing I've ever seen a Luna do. I laughed. Guess I'm not a typical Luna. No. He smiled, rare and beautiful and just for me. You're a Golden Queen. And it's about time the kingdom recognized it. Golden Queen. The title settled over me like a crown. Heavy. Precious. Earned through blood and sacrifice and refusing to give up even when everything seemed lost. I like the sound of that, I said softly. Good. Darius brought my hand to his lips. Because you're stuck with it now. Stuck with me. Stuck with this kingdom and all its problems. I can think of worse fates. So can I. We rode toward the rising sun, leaving death and darkness behind. Heading toward home, toward healing, toward whatever future we'd build together. The Golden Queen and her Alpha King. United by choice. Bonded by fate. Stronger together than either had ever been alone. And somewhere in the palace ahead, a crown waited. Not just for show, but earned. Deserved. Mine. Ours. Forever. Chapter 8. I woke to sunlight and the sound of breathing that wasn't my own. For a moment, I didn't remember where I was. Then it came back in pieces. The battle, Cain's sacrifice, my wolf returning from the edge of death. Collapsing in Darius's arms as exhaustion finally claimed me. How long had I been asleep? 3 days, Darius's voice answered, rough with exhaustion and relief. You've been unconscious for 3 days. The healer said your body needed time to adjust to the restored wolf essence. I turned my head. He sat in a chair beside the bed, still wearing the same blood-stained clothes from the battle. His hair was a mess, dark circles shadowed his eyes, and he looked like he hadn't slept in days. He looked beautiful. You stayed, I whispered. Of course I stayed. He moved to sit on the edge of the bed, his hand finding mine automatically. You think I'd leave you? After everything? You're the Alpha King. You have responsibilities. My most important responsibility is right here. His thumb traced circles on my palm. The kingdom can wait. The council can wait. Everything can wait until you're well. Through our bond, I felt the truth of his words. The fear that had gripped him while I was unconscious. The desperate vigil he'd kept, refusing to leave, barely eating, just watching and waiting and praying to a goddess he wasn't sure he believed in anymore. I'm okay, I told him. My wolf is quiet, but she's there. I can feel her. Good. Relief flooded through our connection. The healers weren't sure. They'd never dealt with a transferred wolf essence before. We didn't know if, his voice cracked. I didn't know if you'd wake up. If the transfer had damaged something fundamental. Hey. I squeezed his hand. I'm here. I'm okay. We're okay. He leaned down, pressed his forehead to mine. We stayed like that for a long moment, just breathing together, feeling the bond pulse between us, alive, strong, unbreakable. What did I miss? I finally asked. A ghost of a smile crossed his face. Everything and nothing. Want the full report? Give me the summary. Thorn is dead and buried in an unmarked grave. His co-conspirators have been identified and dealt with, some executed, others exiled, depending on their level of involvement. He settled more comfortably beside me. Morgana has sworn loyalty to the crown. She's been incredibly helpful, actually. Used her magic to cleanse the ceremonial grounds, destroy the remaining dark wards, even helped our healers develop new treatments. And Kane? Darius's expression hardened slightly. Still here. Waiting to speak with you before he leaves. He's been different. Quieter. Spending every moment with his daughter. What did he name her? Sarah. After Celeste's mother. He paused. We gave Celeste a full Luna's funeral. Whatever she did, she was still beta female of Silver Moon. She deserved that honor. My throat tightened. Thank you. Lyanna got a hero's funeral. The entire kingdom mourned. Pain flickered through our bond. She saved you. Saved all of us. She'll be remembered. I pulled him closer, held him while he grieved again for his sister. For his first mate. For everyone we'd lost. There's more, he said after a while. The packs have been arriving. Every alpha in the kingdom wants to pay respects to the Luna Queen who defeated a blood witch and stopped a coup. They're calling me Luna Queen. They're calling you the Golden Queen. His silver eyes met mine. The first golden wolf in 1,000 years. The Luna who commanded an alpha's stolen power. The queen who chose mercy over revenge. He smiled. You're becoming legendary, Mara. I don't want to be legendary. I stopped. What did I want? What? He prompted gently. I just want to be yours. The admission felt vulnerable. Raw. Not some legendary figure. Not some symbol. Just, your mate. Your Luna. Your partner. You are. He kissed my forehead. But you're also more. The kingdom needs you, Mara. Needs your strength, your mercy, your golden wolf's power to heal and unite. He pulled back slightly. Which is why, when you're ready, I want to make this official. Not the contract ceremony, the real one. True Luna Queen coronation, witnessed by every pack, blessed by the moon goddess herself. My breath caught. That's a big deal. You're a big deal. His thumb brushed my cheek. You saved my life. Saved the kingdom. Brought down a conspiracy that had been building for years. You deserve recognition. Celebration. Everything. I just want you. You have me. His voice dropped lower. Completely. Eternally. In every way that matters. The bond flared between us. Hot and bright and full of promise. Then kiss me, I whispered. Before someone interrupts us with more politics. He did. Thoroughly. Until I forgot about kingdoms and conspiracies and everything except the feeling of his lips on mine, his hands in my hair, his love pouring through our bond like sunlight. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, I was smiling. That's better medicine than anything the healers gave me. I'll prescribe it 3 times daily. He stood reluctantly. But first, you need real food. And probably a bath. And Kane is waiting. Send him in, I decided. Let's get this over with. Kane looked different without his wolf. More human, obviously. But also, smaller somehow. Like losing his wolf had stripped away layers of arrogance and ambition, leaving just a man who'd made terrible choices and was trying to live with the consequences. He carried baby Sarah in his arms. A tiny thing wrapped in soft pink blankets, sleeping peacefully despite the chaos her short life had already seen. Mara. He stopped at the foot of my bed. You're awake. Thank the goddess. Cain. I pulled myself up to sitting, ignoring the way my body protested. How are you? Human. He smiled sadly. Strange. I keep reaching for my wolf, forgetting she's not there anymore. The healers say the phantom feeling will fade eventually. Do you regret it? No. He looked down at Sarah. I regret a lot of things. Rejecting you. Conspiring with Thorn. Letting Celeste manipulate me. His eyes met mine. But giving up my wolf to save you? That's the one good thing I've done in 5 years. Maybe the only good thing. You have a daughter now. You can do lots of good things. I hope so. He moved closer, and I saw the grief etched into his face. Celeste made me promise to tell Sarah about her mother. The good parts. Before the jealousy and manipulation. When she was just a young wolf with dreams. Tell her Celeste was brave at the end, I said softly. That she died protecting her daughter. That she apologized and meant it. Those are true things. Thank you. His voice cracked. For forgiving her. For forgiving me. We didn't deserve it. Maybe not. But I needed to do it anyway. For myself. I reached out, let him take my hand. Holding on to anger was killing me slowly, Cain. Making me bitter and small. I'm done with that now. What will you do instead? Live. Really live, not just survive. I glanced toward the door where Darius had stepped out to give us privacy. Love someone who loves me back. Build something good. Be the queen this kingdom needs. You'll be magnificent, Cain said. You already are. He placed Sarah gently on the bed beside me. Up close, I could see Celeste in her features, the shape of her eyes, the curve of her mouth. But there was Cain too, and something uniquely her own. She's beautiful, I whispered. She's perfect. Cain's hand trembled as he stroked his daughter's cheek. I'm leaving tomorrow. Taking her to neutral territory where I have family. They'll help me raise her away from pack politics and dark magic. Give her a chance at a normal life. You're welcome to stay. The palace has room. No. He shook his head. I need distance. Need to figure out who I am without my wolf, without pack status, without all the ambition that poisoned me. He looked at me. But I want you to know, if you ever need anything, if Sarah ever needs her aunt, we'll come. Distance doesn't mean abandonment. I know. I touched Sarah's tiny hand. Take care of each other. And Cain? Write sometimes. Let me know how she's growing up. I want to keep my promise to Celeste. I will. He gathered Sarah back into his arms. Thank you, Mara. For everything. For mercy I didn't earn. For forgiveness I didn't deserve. For being the better person. We're even now, I said. You saved my wolf. I forgave your betrayal. We're even, and we're done. No more debts between us. No more debts, he agreed. He left, carrying his daughter toward whatever future awaited a human beta raising a half-orphan child. And I felt something release in my chest. The last tie to my old life, my old pain, finally cut free. Darius returned immediately after Cain left, as if he'd been waiting just outside. You okay? He asked. Yeah. I smiled. Actually, I'm more than okay. I'm free. Understanding flickered in his eyes. Good. Because I need my queen at full strength for what comes next. What comes next? Everything. He pulled me to my feet, steadied me when I swayed. Your coronation. The kingdom's celebration. Our future. His hands framed my face. Our life together, starting now. The coronation took place a week later, when I was strong enough to stand for the ceremony. They held it in the grand throne room. The same place I'd been dragged in chains months ago, accused of being a rogue spy. Now I stood at the center in a gown that cost more than my old apartment, surrounded by hundreds of witnesses from every pack in the kingdom. Elder Catherine officiated again, but this time her words were different. Powerful. Ancient. We gathered to witness the coronation of Mara Blackthorn, true Luna Queen of the Wolf Kingdoms. Not by contract. Not by political arrangement. But by strength, by sacrifice, by the blessing of the moon goddess herself. She held up a crown, delicate gold work to look like twining branches, with diamonds that caught the light like stars. Nothing like the heavy ceremonial piece I'd expected. This was beautiful. Meant to be worn, not just displayed. This crown was forged by the first golden wolf, 1,000 years ago. It has waited in our vaults for the day another worthy Luna would wear it. Catherine's eyes met mine. Today, that day has come. She placed the crown on my head. It settled perfectly, warm against my skin, humming with old magic. Do you, Mara Blackthorn, swear to serve this kingdom? To lead with wisdom, fight with courage, and protect all wolves under your care? I do. My voice carried through the silent room. Do you swear to stand beside your Alpha King as true partner, not subordinate? To challenge him when he's wrong, support him when he's right, and love him through everything? I do. I looked at Darius, standing beside the throne, and felt our bond pulse with affection. Then by the authority granted to me by the moon goddess and the ancient laws of our kind, I crown you Mara Blackthorn, Luna Queen, Golden Wolf, protector of the realm. Catherine's voice rang out. Long may she reign. Long may she reign, the crowd echoed. The celebration lasted for hours. Wolves from every pack came forward to pledge loyalty, offer gifts, express gratitude for stopping Thorn's coup. It was overwhelming and exhausting and wonderful. But the best part came after, when everyone had left and Darius led me to our private chambers. Alone at last, he murmured, pulling me close. My queen. Your mate, I corrected. Queen is just a title. Mate is who I am. Both. He kissed my neck, right over his mark. You're both, and I'm the luckiest wolf alive. We made our way to the bedroom, shedding formal clothes and pretense. When we finally came together, skin against skin, soul against soul, the bond exploded between us. This wasn't the desperate coupling of two wolves in danger. This was celebration. Claiming. Love given and received freely. My golden wolf rose to meet his, and I felt power surge through our connection. Not the destructive force I'd used against Thorn, but something else. Something generative. Creative. Life-affirming. When we finally collapsed together, sated and happy, I noticed something. My wolf was glowing brighter than before. Stronger. The sacrifice Cain had made, combined with Darius's love and our completed bond, it had enhanced rather than diminished my power. You're glowing, Darius murmured, tracing patterns on my golden-lit skin. Literally glowing. So are you. Silver light flickered across his body, mingling with my gold. We lay there in the darkness, lit only by our own combined radiance, and I understood something fundamental. Love didn't weaken power. It amplified it. Being vulnerable didn't make me breakable. It made me strong. And standing beside an Alpha King who saw me as an equal, that didn't diminish me. It elevated us both. I need to tell you something, Darius said quietly. About Lyanna. My first mate. You don't have to. I do. He propped himself up on one elbow. Because I don't want secrets between us. Not anymore. I waited, giving him space. Lyanna wasn't my fated mate, he admitted. She was an arranged match. Political alliance between her pack and mine. I chose her for duty, for strategy, for all the wrong reasons. His eyes found mine. I cared about her. Loved her, even, in a way. But it was never, this. This? The bond one feel with you. This rightness. He touched my face. With Lyanna, I was performing. Playing the role of devoted mate because that's what kings do. But with you. He stopped. Searched for words. You're not my obligation, Mara. You're my salvation. The person who makes me want to be better, stronger, more honest. The mate I chose freely, not from duty but from desire. Tears burned in my eyes. I love you. I love you too. He kissed me softly. And I will spend every day proving it. Showing you that you made the right choice. That we made the right choice. We did. I pulled him closer. We really did. We fell asleep tangled together, our wolves content, our bonds singing with happiness. And outside our window, the kingdom slept peacefully for the first time in years. 3 months later, the healers confirmed what I'd already suspected. Twins, Morgana announced, her hands glowing softly over my abdomen. A boy and a girl. Both healthy, both strong. Both carrying traces of golden wolf essence. I stared at her. Both? That's not normal. Nothing about you is normal, Your Majesty. She smiled. You're a golden wolf mated to an alpha king. Your children were always going to be exceptional. Darius looked like he might pass out. Twins. We're having twins. Apparently. I laughed at his expression. Are you okay? He sat down heavily. I'm going to be a father. Of two. 2 wolves who'll probably inherit your stubbornness and my authority issues. And your strength and my mercy, I added. They'll be amazing. They'll be terrors. But he was grinning now, joy overwhelming the shock. Absolute terrors, and I can't wait. The pregnancy was easier than expected. My golden wolf seemed to thrive on nurturing new life, and the kingdom flourished alongside me. Lands that had been barren under Thorn's corrupt rule suddenly bloomed. Pack feuds that had lasted generations ended peacefully. Rogues found acceptance instead of execution. The wolves whispered that it was golden wolf magic. That my presence alone healed what had been broken. Maybe they were right. Or maybe it was just good leadership, wise counsels, and a kingdom finally free from conspiracy and corruption. Either way, we were building something beautiful. Cain wrote occasionally, sending updates about Sarah. She was growing well, learning to walk, saying her first words. He sounded happy in his letters, or at least at peace. Morgana had become my closest advisor after Lyanna's death. She understood magic in ways no one else did, and her reformed perspective made her invaluable for navigating supernatural politics. The kingdom had truly entered a new era. And I stood at the center of it, crowned and claimed, carrying the next generation of wolves who would inherit this peace we'd built. The final evening before my due date, Darius found me on the palace balcony. I stood watching the sunset paint the mountains gold and silver, one hand resting on my enormous belly, feeling both babies moving beneath my palm. There you are. His arms wrapped around me from behind, careful of my pregnant belly. I'd been looking everywhere. Sorry. I needed air. I leaned back against his chest. And I wanted to see the sunset. It's beautiful tonight. Not as beautiful as you. He kissed my temple. How are you feeling? Huge. Uncomfortable. Ready to meet these two? I smiled. But also happy. So ridiculously happy. Good. His hands settled over mine on my belly. Me too. We stood in comfortable silence, watching the sun sink below the horizon. In the distance, wolves began their evening howls, a nightly ritual that had taken on new meaning under our rule. My golden wolf stirred, wanting to join them. Want to shift? Darius murmured. One last time before the babies come? The healers said. The healers also said you're the healthiest pregnant wolf they've ever seen. That your golden wolf actually protects the babies. He stepped back. So shift if you want. Run with me. Like we used to. I didn't need more convincing. My shift was slower now, accommodating the pregnancy, but still smooth. My golden wolf emerged, larger than before, glowing with power and life. Darius shifted beside me, his massive black wolf with silver markings, beautiful and deadly and mine. We stood on the balcony together and howled. Our voices rose into the night, gold and silver, Luna and Alpha, two wolves who'd found each other against all odds. The kingdom answered, hundreds of voices joining ours in a symphony of unity. And I understood, finally and completely, what it meant to belong. Not to hide parts of myself. Not to make myself smaller to fit someone else's expectations. But to stand in full golden glory beside a mate who celebrated my strength. No more hiding, I thought to Darius through our bond. Never again, he promised back. You shine too bright to ever hide again. We held together until our throats were raw and happy. Until the stars emerged overhead and the moon rose full and bright. Until I felt the first contraction and realized the babies were coming. But even then, rushing back inside, shifting back to human, preparing for the birth, I felt nothing but joy. Because I was home. Truly home. Not in a place, but in a life I'd built. In a mate I'd chosen. In a kingdom I'd saved and would now help raise the next generation to protect. The Golden Queen and her Alpha King. United. Unbreakable. Unstoppable. And as I held my newborn son and daughter hours later, one with golden eyes, one with silver, I made them a promise. You'll never have to hide who you are. Never have to be anything but yourselves. Because you're loved, you're wanted, and you're perfect exactly as you are. Darius's hand found mine over our children's heads. Our family, he whispered. Our future. Our everything. Our everything, I agreed. And somewhere in the distance, two wolves howled, one gold, one silver, announcing a new dawn for the wolf kingdoms. A dawn born from the queen who refused to stay broken. A dawn that would last for generations to come. The end. Thank you for listening to this story. Like, share and subscribe for more.